Greetings, weary travelers, come, warm yourself by the fire, and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, and of course, Tales of Tamriel. I'm your host, Arkaniir Silvershield, and we have an exciting show tonight. Joining us, as always, starting with the man, the myth, the legend himself, LotusOfDoom. How's it going, Lotus?
I'm doing very well. Good to be back this week.
Always good to hear that you are doing good. Also joining us, the Giggle Queen herself, the joy of the show, HyperPixie. How's it going, Pixie?
Going great over here.
Again, great to hear. And also joining us, from the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages, one of the lore guardians himself, the mighty Pylawn, to make this UESP crossover Volume 2 episode happen. How's it going, Pylawn?
It's going great. Not just well or good, it's going great. So I'm happy to be here.
Oh,
impressive.
That makes us happy. Yeah. See, you guys were just good. Pylawn is great.
Yeah, you guys are just good
fired,
and well.
Right?
He has to just one-up us at all times.
Yeah,
is what
it's
it
true.
is.
Yeah, or we just had raising excitement as we went along.
It's true.
There we go.
Pylawn just is peak
I'm
excitement
the pinnacle.
right now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
See? There it is. Perfect.
So we don't have too many news to talk about this week other than the yet another event, this time Tribunal Celebration, and of course our tales, and maybe, depending on how long we take to get that part in the show, maybe a little bit of reading. But before we get into that, a quick shout out to our latest supporter over at Patreon, Nitibel, aka BabbleBabe Podcast. Thank you so much for joining the ranks of the Vanguard. We appreciate that. And all of your support makes this all happen. We also have an iTunes review. I think this is coming from your stream, Lotus. This is from Carnage, titled...
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Yeah. This is titled, Glad You Are Here. I love the Elder Scrolls universe and I love listening to podcasts. Found you guys about a year ago, shortly after finally starting to play ESO. I really enjoyed the banter and getting to know your personalities. I hope you guys keep it going. Thanks again. I won the Blackwood Code.
Yes.
That's why.
Nice.
Yep. That I was gonna say that is
Yay.
Carnage. Congrats again.
We really appreciate the 5-star review. As always, it helps people know that we're a real podcast, that we say real words as in our outro, and it barely matters, I guess, because we banter a lot, as mentioned in the review as well. I don't know how coherent we are at this point, 260-something episodes into the show, but...
Yeah, it's...
But you have lovely personalities.
Yeah,
True.
We'll go with that.
I sometimes think, like, I wonder sometimes how people think that I am with all my constant hatred towards the Guard, the Aldmeri Dominion, the Elves, basically anything that is not Skyrim.
Does everyone
You
think
hated
I'm
healers
actually
a couple
hate-filled?
weeks ago.
Oh yeah, the healers, the DPS,
Oh,
anything
yeah.
that is
Yep.
not a North tank.
Yeah, that's right. There's only one class.
Pylawn has a very
Yeah.
confused look right now. He's like, what have I
Well, I was just
into?
saying, I just
Wait.
looked over at the stream again and I saw you like removed the flag that you made, and I was like, you almost like killed me to put that flag in there. As everybody saw me like
Don't
fall off
tell
a
him.
cliff.
Because I
Don't tell him.
like I don't want to like get his camera broken or something. Just
I don't wanna
trying
be
to get the
responsible for
AD
this.
flag into the frame.
That was so funny.
I mean,
I mean,
can
how
if you
many
want,
times have
I
you
can always
moved
do
the
this
AD
again,
flag?
and that's fixed. So that's
No.
There
too
we
late.
go.
No,
You made it
our
worse.
esteemed guest requested it in a subtle manner. So
I
We
just,
were
Extra
friends,
EP.
Pylawn. I
it
thought
was
we
an
were friends.
aggressive fall. Like I want to clip that later so I can watch like the tumble of like just me being like, I'm gonna adjust my camera, everybody. It'll be whoa no.
You had the best smile on your face, like so confident, like, yes, I'm gonna ruin his night.
Yeah.
And then you dropped
It
the
just
camera.
went
and I'm
just
like,
yeah,
oh,
just
no.
total failure.
I mean,
You were
see,
the chosen one.
That's what happens when you try to put Aldmeri Dominion flag into the frame. Even the gods don't agree with you, and they try to just like
refuse to let it
sabotage your
happen.
webcam.
Yeah.
That's you gotta pay attention to the signs and delete most of those AD characters, Pylawn. It's
Oh, but then I
No.
can't run any content anymore because they're the only ones I have at high levels.
Oh my god.
This is getting worse and worse.
This is great.
EP characters are puppets.
To be fair, no, my EP, two of my EP characters, one of them's my PvP character. And then the other one is an Altmer.
Oh my.
But that's the one I main DPS most of the time. That's my Warden. And then my Stam
That's
Sword.
his main DPS.
It is my main DPS.
His
Hey,
main.
you want to be even more confused? My
God.
actual main is a Argonian for the AD.
That's the
Oh my
best.
gosh.
That is the best.
I
don't-
I was just like,
really-
all right, I don't want anybody with the factions they start
I don't have a
with, and
single.
everybody.
No, that's not true. I have one single character left that is still the same faction as their race is supposed to be, and that's my OG character, which
I
I'll
was
probably
going to say,
talk
is
about
that your
later.
only DC
Do you
character?
have
It's
do you
like
have
a
any
mark.
Imperials? Where do you put those?
I don't have my Imperial at the moment. Rumpel Gwarskin used to be an Imperial.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Rumpel Gwarskin was an Imperial that I hated the
Oh,
name
that-
for. So I had a Twitter contest to let Twitter rename him.
I remember.
And then I was like, you know what?
Renaming.
I'll
I
even
just-
let you change the race. And
Oh,
so-
okay.
I think it was Braun Solo, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
it
won
was.
that with Rumpel
It-
Gwarskin, which is the best name that's ever existed.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. And well, that I just didn't realize that Rumpel Gwarskin was morphed from a different creature into.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a renaming, but it was always an
No.
Argonian. Didn't realize it came from an Imperial.
So
Which
much
makes it even better.
heresy. So it's
Oh, yeah,
it's wrong. It's just not right. One day maybe I'll just join the team at ZeniMax Online Studios and sneak in a sneaky code in there, just if AD, if Guar, if Altmer, just delete, crash, do something. I don't know, just
Then I would have to get a job at ZeniMax
Oh,
and,
then we'd have
what you just did.
a 90s hacking battle, when they technology where they're typing furiously at each other, oh, this one's good, go, oh no, well, I'll just root around the firewall, it'll be perfect.
oh no,
But-
he's deleting the Altmers now.
Yeah.
I must
But it
bring up
needs
the
to be done
firewalls to defend
only
Guars.
with, we need floppy disk montages and stuff. But since we don't have anywhere
For
to
sure.
put them, you just start placing them on keyboards because we don't have anywhere to do anything with them.
There is a subreddit called "It's a Unix System" that is
Yeah.
essentially this. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I can probably pull off a Hackerman cosplay from Kung Fury if you ever seen that.
I've seen
Just
the memes,
need
but I've
a
not seen the
mullet.
movie.
Just need to cut this part, leave a mullet, cut the beard, leave the mustache, and it's done. It is an modern old school film, so it makes sense in the context. Although if you see it now, it's probably a very bad sign. Anyway, so let's not read through, but quickly go over the piece of news we have, which is the Tribunal Celebration. And I think this is the first time they merged two different events into one, right? So we have the Morrowind Celebration, and then we have the Clockwork City Anniversary Celebration merged into a single event as the Tribunal Celebration, which makes a lot of sense because at this point we were running out of things to celebrate anniversaries for in the year, considering the amount of updates, DLCs, chapters we have, and it was getting a bit overwhelming, in my opinion, to have events every other week. So
Yeah.
they merged it in a very lore-friendly way because, Soda Silver, Vex City, Morrowind, they are all part of the Tribunal. And the reward system is pretty similar to every other event. You get increased rewards from harvest nodes, you get double rewards from a whole bunch of the reward boxes, things like that. But they also added a couple new things. So there's a whole new style called the Doctrine Ordinator, which I really hate. But if you're a fan of the Dunmary styles, the Ordinators, or even Fabricators, because it looks a bit more Fabricator compared to the standard Ordinator outfits. So there's a new style page that you can go after, which you can either buy with your event tickets, or you can get, if you are lucky, it'll drop from the Tribunal coffers that you complete by doing the dailies of Clockwork City and Morrowind. There is a new pet, which I really like, actually. I forgot the name of it. It's...
Microtized Verminous Fabricant.
Thank you.
That'd
Yes,
be
no
it.
wonder I forgot that name.
How
It
do you
rolls
get
off the
that
tongue.
one?
It's a little fabricant T-Rexy thing.
Yeah,
A
think of like a little
velociraptor
mini
type of deal.
raptor.
Yes, yeah. Raptor makes more sense than a T-Rex.
That's the guar. The
I know
derpy
my
T-Rex is the
my
guar.
dinosaur. No, it's not a guar. It's not a guar. Guars don't do. It's a raptor. It's
Guars
one.
are
it's-
derpy T-Rex.
No.
Well, yeah.
They have T-Rex DNA somewhere in their gene pool. I'm pretty sure. When the mad scientists
Won't make
fused
him
them
get the
together.
graph.
But
My new theory, now that I've just thought about this, is that guars, like, have you ever seen that Among Us thing where it shows what like the skeleton of the Among Us characters are, where it's like horrific, or the Fallout guys too, or the Fall Guys one, where it shows
No.
like, that's what the guars are. They're actually the raptors, but they're skeletons, but there's just so much like fat around the skeleton that they just look like, that's why their arms look long, because they're like actually bent on the inside of them. Oh, I'm gonna draw this later. We'll be
I want to see
no,
this.
I mean it's a nice theory, but guars are a result of, as we all know, are the result
Oh,
of
God.
a science experiment gone wrong in Tamriel, trying to fuse together multiple different creatures, and it's just ended up being the guar.
I'm pretty sure that's actually the lore for the Vardvarks, though.
yeah.
Which ones are the
Something along
Wardvarks?
The Vardvark.
Yeah,
They're
the-
adorable.
I'm pretty sure that's actually the lore. Is like someone was like, I'm going to make this thing, and it was a mage that tried to like summon their own creature, making it of spare parts. And then he's like, I made an abomination, but my daughter seems to really like it, so I can't
Yes.
kill it.
yeah, so I'll just like let it free.
Oh.
Yeah,
The
and then they
Vardvarks
took
are the
over.
cutest freaking things, and I love them so much.
I love
How do
Vardvark.
you think guars are weird, but this is cute? I don't.
It's adorable. Are you not looking at the right thing?
Yeah, I am
How
looking
can
at
you
the
not
thing.
think
This
it's got
looks
the
like a
little tongue?
rat that got
It looks
fused
like-
with an anteater.
It looks like an
That is what
aardvark.
happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
Computer.
that's pretty on brand.
They're
Oh, Elder
adorable, and
Scrolls
I
and
would
its
snuggle the
creatures.
shit out of one of them.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I would like to not. How do you blow up bunnies, Pixie, but love these creatures? It doesn't make any sense.
The bunny was an accident, and the Vardvarks are adorable, and I just want to hug them. How could you
Until
see
you
that and
blow up
not
a
want to just give
Vardvark.
it the biggest hug?
Because I'm reasonable, I guess. I don't know. You are all under.
Imagine Vardvark mounts.
Oh god.
Wow.
Oh my
like,
god, I would
ooh.
love a Vardvark mount.
Okay, that might freak me out when they're huge.
It's like really big and lumbering.
Just like all tongue.
I know I said that
Oh, that'd be the
whenever
space
I pick
command.
mounts. Huh?
When you hit space, like, you know how they have like the special command when you hit space and you're not running, when they like instead of
Yeah.
jumping they do their thing. This one would just be its tongue like flying out of
Oh
its mouth.
god.
So you know how I said that the reason why I don't like guar is because they're too derpy and I want to strike fear into the hearts of my enemies whenever I'm riding up on my mount, and that's why I like
With your
the
Vardvark.
Durzog.
Yeah, with your Vardvark.
I feel like the Vardvark is a special type of terrifying that I need in my life as a mount.
I would rather have like a tiger or a lion or whatever run full speed at me than a same sized Varvak or whatever it is.
Yeah.
called. It's-
Actually,
Like
see,
6 foot at
at
the
least
shoulder.
I know what one of them will do. One of them will just maul me to death. The other one, God knows what it will do.
listen, I know exactly what it would do. I can tell you. It would take its tongue and it would just snake it in one ear and then pop it out the other ear and your brain's gone.
That sounds like
I don't
one,
like this.
horrific.
Yeah.
Two, I feel like all we've done is take a Vardvark and stretch it out and make it bigger, and then it just becomes one of the hungers, like those giant
Yeah.
things. That's what.
Ah.
So that's what a mount is. You just if you stretch a Vardvark, you get a hunger, and then nobody's happy.
Okay, I
The
generally
hungers are
hope
creepy
that
looking, though. These are
Zas is
adorable.
listening to this show for the feedback and everything, but I hope they don't listen to this episode and get some weird ideas. I'm
Yeah, I
just-
really hope they get this.
yeah.
If we
That
get
could
a
be the
Vardvark
two-person
mount,
mount.
guys,
Oh god.
that'd be so awesome.
Oh God!
So for
Who
one
wants to ride
person
on my
is
Varvak
one person
with
is
me?
riding the Varvak, the other one is just the Varvak
Just wrapped its tongue
grabbed
around
drinking
its
it on
tongue
the
around it
brain.
and just carries it around.
Yeah.
Oh, I just assumed it was drinking its brain for fuel to keep driving.
Uh,
Ow,
we
ow,
need like
ow.
a Tamriel, like Elder Scrolls horror movie, just with the stuff
Just
that
with all the
exists in
swarms
Elder
of
Scrolls.
Aardvarks.
Yeah.
Gone Crazy says Lich Abner probably has one.
That's very
Chapter.
I still think that was a good guess.
I
Just saying.
I still like, well, just in general, all of these nightmare fuel creatures and discussions we just discussed. I feel like since Fallout tends to be like more of a horror-based thing with all these genetic mutations, I feel like we're just describing the logical conclusion of these things after Elder Scrolls. It's like,
Oh yeah.
get the Snallygaster in Fallout 76, which is just this horrific abomination. It's like, so all we're doing is just giving Bethesda nightmare fuel to show up in other games.
Are there giant Vardvarks in Fallout, though? I've never played Fallout.
I'll show you what I was thinking of when we were talking about a Vardvark mount.
I mean, that would make more sense if Elder Scrolls came after Fallout, though. Like, everything mutates into every creature in Elder Scrolls. And it would explain the Guar, because they are abominations, and they are probably created as a result of some sort of radiation exposure, so that would make sense. But yeah, don't get any ideas, Sauce. Still, there's
should
one
take my
creature that
idea,
I don't
I will
like.
buy it.
Like, all of these creatures, I can't, like, there's one creature that I just can't stand in the universe of Elder Scrolls. The choruses or chorus, whatever, the ones that hang out with Falmer.
But
They-
the little one's so cute. What was its name? The chorus pet you could get? It had a cute name.
I have nothing to say to you at this point, Pixie. I am at a loss of words. Out of everything that you could call cute, that creature, how is that creature is cute?
Listen, you can't always judge on looks all the time. Or you're missing out on some great opportunities in life. And I feel like they could be very sweet.
Are you sure we
and
are
loyal
talking about the
companions.
same creature?
Look at all of their arms and think about how great their hugs would be.
Oh. Quantity
Not the
is
big
not
ones.
always better than quality there, Pixie.
The big ones are terrible. They're scary. But I'm talking about the little one.
The
little
teacup
pet.
one that you could
Yeah.
buy? I'm trying to find
it's
its name.
adorable.
I can't
Hold
find its
on.
name anywhere, but
I don't like
it's
this
the
at
teacup
all.
chorus chitterling. Oh, that's so hard to say.
Oh, not egg. Pet is what I was trying to.
So is it called chorus then? I
call it a chorus, but I probably.
I always
Pronounce
thought
it
it was chorus, but now that I see that the little ones are called chitterlings, I feel like it'd
Yeah.
be chorus chitterling because they'd
I'm
want the
not sure.
alliteration.
Why doesn't it say the name?
Say my name.
They said it on Twitter because I remember the discussion on Twitter because people were
Its
freaked out.
default
by
name
it.
is Teacup.
Okay, how is that terrifying at all? Teacup? Like, you're scared of Teacup. Like, Teacup's freaking adorable and deserves love just like everyone else. And I
if
would
I
pet
had a
Teacup
one shot,
and I would cradle
if
it
I
like a
had
baby.
one shot at destroying like all Daedra versus destroying all of this creature, I would use it on destroying all of these creatures. It's I don't. How do you
It
think
looks so
this is cute?
friendly.
Also, if we're being honest, like I'm saying 9 times out of 10, if I run into an animal that someone has decided to name Teacup, the thing's going to be terrifying.
That's probably true.
yeah, very reasonable.
That's probably very true.
My next pet's name's going to be Teacup.
Teacup.
And it's going to be like a velociraptor. I don't know what happens down there.
I don't know. I think it has cute qualities to it. I think like it's so small. Like I just imagine myself picking it up and like throwing it over my shoulder, like whenever I carry my cat around.
Wait, so
And just
would
loving
you would you want one of those like giant centipedes as a pet?
No, just
Like
the little one.
They're the same thing. No, but the giant centipedes is like a foot long. Like it's a centipede, but it's a foot long.
I mean, is it nice?
How would you? I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't personally made my acquaintance with one.
It's a
If they're
giant centipede.
nice. I haven't
Okay,
seen
so-
these giant centipedes, but if they're nice, sure.
I mean, imagine a
Let's-
centipede just a
I
foot
think
long.
bugs are
It's-
cool.
I think they're cool. I just don't want to hang out with one.
Yeah, some bugs.
I don't. I hate insects and bugs. It's not.
I like
not for
dragonflies
me.
a lot.
How did we get where
I like
we are?
dragonflies if they're stationary. If they're flying around my head, I get freaked out. Basically, if I can't keep track of something easily, I hate it and I can't stand it. And most insect and bugs, I cannot keep track of where they are. So yeah, it's.
Do you like moths?
No,
I like
Because moths are adorable.
no,
They're very pretty.
They also fly around a lot. They're like
Pretty
one moment they are there, next moment you don't know where they are. They're gone. I don't like it. I need to be able to keep track of them. So I would rather a giant bug that I can always see where it is than a small one that is flying around my head.
Okay, if you ever visit Florida, I will introduce you to the giant flying cockroach and see how that goes for you.
How giant
those
is
are
it?
crazy.
Yeah, that's the
hate
treat.
them.
Yeah, I'm not squeamish. Hell no with the cockroaches. Those things freak me out.
Okay, I'm just gonna add Florida
They're
to
like
the list of
this
places
freaking
never to go.
big.
It's
And they'll fly at your face. Whenever we moved to Florida, my mom thought it was a rat, and it was a roach, and it was terrifying because they lived in the
Ugh.
deck whenever we first moved down here. Oh god, it was awful.
how
Florida sucks.
how do you not own a flamethrower in Florida? Because
Because
that
we don't
would
have snow, so we don't need to use.
no,
the
it's not
flame.
for
Well,
the
yeah, but you
snow,
could use
it's
it
for the
on
bugs.
the bugs.
That's
Wait,
true.
Light them
I've
ablaze.
never in my life thought about using a flamethrower for snow, and that is brilliant.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
no.
gifs
Come up
of
with
it.
this
I don't know how
myself.
effective it is. I saw it on like YouTube and everything that people were using it. I don't know.
Somebody
It'd be
got
nice
like,
if I got it for that like heavy icy stuff at the end of the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there was this guy, I think he was in Kentucky, who got in trouble for using a flamethrower. And whenever the police like contacted him and were like, you can't use a flamethrower. And he's like, I just want to get this white bullshit off my driveway. And I was like, you know what, man? That's smart. That is working
I mean, it's
smarter, not harder.
effective, I guess.
I mean, that's what I would want to. If you want to shovel, no, get the flamethrower. Get your little friend Charizard and just blast it right off.
I want a real Charizard.
Happy Pokemon
That
Day.
was so from the heart. That was like if I had a real Charizard, I would now send it to you. It was-
Literally before this, I was watching the like Pokemon Post Malone concert, and it was
was
adorable.
so-
And I loved it.
It was so cute. Whenever the Charizard flies up next to him on the rock, I was like taking so many screenshots and like sending them.
Okay,
to
now
people.
I'm lost
so
and
happy.
confused.
Okay, so today is the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, and to celebrate, they had Post Malone. They like rendered him in the Pokemon art style and
Yeah.
had him do a virtual concert. And they had him like in Pokemon situations. So he was like on this floating rock thing, like floating through all these Pokemon biomes. And like whenever he was in the volcano, there was like a Charizard flying up next to him and stuff.
Yeah,
If
really-
you,
it was actually really cool.
if you had me guess, who would give a virtual concert for the 25th year of Pokemon? Post Malone would be somewhere in the thousands of the guesses. I mean, it's
To bring things back to Elder Scrolls.
Please
There was
do.
a photo on Twitter not too long ago of Post Malone hugging a fan while Post Malone had his phone out and was playing Elder Scrolls Legends on his
oh
phone
wow!
Oh my god, that's awesome.
while he was like in this photo.
I'm actually
Also-
very like the amount of famous people who play Elder Scrolls relate like in general Elder Scrolls franchise always impresses me. Like the most unexpected
Yeah.
people turn out to be huge Elder Scrolls fans.
You-
So,
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said hugging a fan, I did not picture a person for some reason.
Ow, 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 ow.
That's how
"Ah,
he got
God,
effect
why
on
was
his
this thing
voice.
on this fan? It's like
It's not auto tune. He's just talking into a fan
right,
directly.
exactly.
That's what
that
it is.
was so.
You know, surprisingly about Post Malone, he actually he seems like a really genuine guy, and like I know he's been a guest on Good Mythical Morning, and because I like geek out about that YouTube show. Apparently, whenever they invited him to guest on the show, he like knew every single crew member's name because he was such a super fan of the show for so many years before he got famous. So whenever they said Post Malone and Pokemon, I was like, yeah, it's Pokemon Malone, like totally. Like I could totally see this being a thing.
Yeah.
And so it didn't even really catch me that off guard. Like, it was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't know Pokemon was going to do something like that. But it didn't surprise me that whenever he was approached about it, he was like, yeah, I'll do it. Of course you will. How do you say no to Pokemon anyway?
Yeah, I guess true. Yeah. Also, I had the pre-show title up there this whole time, and I guess it made sense. So we are restarting the show. We've been in the pre-show this whole time.
There we go. I mean, that was. Did anything?
I don't need sleep ever again.
Yeah,
You're
no.
talking about
give it up on
Charizard
that.
and Post Malone. So
Actually, yeah, Pylawn, we should have asked you earlier before we started. How long do you plan on being?
Whatever.
Oh, okay, that's good then.
I think
Right.
he's listened to at least one
Until-
episode
until-
at
I
this point.
Until someone falls asleep, then is
Yeah.
the general stopping point.
Lately, I've been the first one to do that. So
Yeah.
But on the bright side, there's the Tribunal Celebration. Wasn't that coherent? Didn't that make sense?
yeah.
yay, Tribunal.
Post Malone is one of the Tribunal. Is
Yeah, I have
Hey,
literally
wait.
no clue how we got to the location.
Since it's the Tribunal Celebration and it's Lotus and Mai's anniversary, does that make Lotus and I part of the Tribunal?
you?
Elder
Third
Memes
one,
on
then.
Twitter already said Earl is a member of the Tribunal, which means, and then we found out that my middle name is actually Earl.
Okay, all
So
right.
I've already been declared as a member of the Tribunal.
Okay.
Now Lotus and I it's our anniversary, so we just need one more person, and we've got our own. We've
Post
got the
Malone?
Tribunal covered.
Post Malone.
Yeah, Post
Yeah.
Malone.
Third member of the Tribunal.
He clearly
Perfect.
doesn't say no to things. We've already
Yeah,
established that.
Yeah, just says yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So there's
Sweet.
one
Okay,
more
so-
collectible that you can get from Tribunal event that we never got to mention, and it's a memento. So just want to squeeze
Oh.
that in there before we move on from this.
Well, I also have one complaint about this
Oh, there you
event. Why did Stonefalls and Deshaun get snubbed? Yes, they're base game, but what the heck? How did those not
I
get
mean,
involved?
Stonefalls,
At
I
least-
can see why, because it's, but Deshaun, I guess Mournhold is part of the, Almalexia, but no one
Almalexia
likes
literally is-
Almalexia, so
Yeah,
it's
like I would just, I don't know. Obviously, you can't really do the dailies there because that'd be kind of a weird.
Yeah.
I mean, there aren't really dailies besides the base game dailies, which would just. I mean,
Legends.
it's fine to give them a huge advantage to the Ebon Heart Pact because that's where the dailies would be. So everybody should just go there to get them. But that aside, I would just, I don't know. For some reason, I assumed you would get double drops in the Morrowind region as well. But
It doesn't even like. I bet it's also because it's not even referenced as being Morrowind really in the game.
yeah,
If I didn't know anything about Elder Scrolls lore, I would
No,
never assume Deshaun and Stonefalls are Morrowind.
most people think Vardenfell is just
Yeah.
all Morrowind is.
Yeah.
So that's
But-
but I agree.
Yeah, that's. I think those
I
regions
mean-
should have double drops. That's all.
To be fair, the game called Morrowind is just Vardenfell. So I
That's
could see why that would be a
very
common
valid.
Yeah, true.
confusion.
Yeah,
True.
that's just it. In Morrowind, they only had Vardenfell, and I remember when I first started playing that, I was like, "Well, what the hell's Vardenfell?" If I thought I was in Morrowind, and it took me a while, I was like, "Oh, I get it. It's an island in the prov. I see how this works." But yeah,
Ooh, but imagine we got Mother Sorrow double drops. Oh,
drops, right?
No, that
Be
could-
rich.
yeah, that would be a moneymaker. I mean, to this day I never got the sword for it to sell, or whichever item that made the actual money from Mother Sorrow, and I farmed Deshan for a long time back when it was one of the events, and I did that World Boss Del Dolmen rotation.
yeah.
It never dropped. Like that one item from Mother Sorrow that makes that actual money. I think it was the sword for some reason. Never dropped.
Sure,
so
Inferno Staff is usually the big one.
is the Inferno Staff?
The Inferno Staff is the one-
whichever
it's still-
one. That's
even-
the money
Even with
maker.
Sticker Book, it still sells. If you get an Inferno Staff, it'll still sell for 40,000 or 50,000.
wow.
People want even off
For
trait
the-
ones
Yeah.
of any level just because it's like, okay, well, I can at least add it to the sticker book. So people, I assume several years later, it'll at least drop down somewhat because it won't be in such high demand. But yeah, just having the ability to remake that, it's like so many
Oh,
people
so
still
useful.
want that.
I think
Yeah.
Mother Sorrow and Necropotence are the only two full sets I've got that I can, like the full down to 25 transmute crystals.
25. Yep.
I think those are the only 2 that I actually have, because I would have more, but I deconstructed them long ago.
Yeah,
Actually reminds
that was a sad part. Where does Necropotence drop from? I don't think I ever seen
That
that
is
set.
in River.
Yeah, it's one of the
Is it?
DC areas. Yeah, I think it's Rivenspire.
I think it's Rivenspire. Yeah.
Somewhere in Daggerfall.
Somewhere in
Covenant.
one of the DC zones, yeah.
I don't remember ever seeing that set in my inventory. I know the name, but now that you said
It's
it,
the
I'm
pet
like,
one.
the pet one?
Yeah, it's the 5 pieces, gives you like some stupid amount of magicka if you have a pet summoned.
Yep.
So it actually works really well
Oh.
with wardens when
Yeah,
you're as like a
that makes
leveling
sense.
set.
Yep.
Because you've already got your bear on you.
Yep. And sorcerers are really good for
Yeah,
it.
sorks too.
Like, yep.
Yeah.
Do
makes sense.
necromancers, do their summons count as pets for that set?
They do, but since they're so temporary, you only get the bonus like
Oh,
While
after you
they're
cast the
on
spell.
death.
Yeah, but
Darn.
isn't the like as a necromancer, can't you summon the archer or whatever, the skeletal mage and the skeletal archer? Aren't
I would
those a
imagine
bit more
dies.
longer duration?
Right, but keeping the uptime on them. I mean, with sorcerers, you just summon it and it's there.
Yeah.
With
Right,
wardens,
true.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like your bear's just hanging out. So it's like
Makes sense. Yeah.
I can see it being useful, but not the same as just having a permanent summon
Mhm.
floating around by you.
That makes a lot of sense. Right, so Tribunal event, how to get the tickets and what to actually do. So you have to do dailies in Clockwork City and Vardenfell. And for each of the first daily that you do, you will get 1 event ticket. I think it's 1. I
Yep,
lost where
1
I was
apiece.
looking at. But so you
Yeah.
can get up to 2, 1 from Clockwork, 1 for Vardenfell. Normally for the Vardenfell dailies, you have to complete some of the story. But for this event, I think they changed that to, what was it? The Adventures Needed poster, something
Yeah.
like that.
For the world boss and delve quest. If you want to do the Ashlander dailies, you still have to do that quest first, the prerequisite
Oh,
quest.
Ashlander is still locked behind. Okay. all right.
Yep.
Yeah. But you can just walk in and do the world boss and delve.
Mhm. And still get your event ticket, which
Yeah.
during the event's what most people care about anyway. So I guess it's a
Right.
it's a good change as well. And that is, well, this is going to run until March 9. So there's still about 10 days by the time I edit this and post this out. 10 days of this event going as well. And that brings us to the end of the... yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the only thing I'm going to mention, just because I've seen it mentioned a lot on Twitter and stuff like that, the locations of these get a little dicey because they're on
So
the Vivek cantons. So if you want, there are maps up and stuff like that. They're a little weird to just find the first time. It's just kind of interesting. But the reason I bring it up is there's also a Crow's Court 3rd secret quest for Clockwork City. That's you have to do quests in order to. You've got to complete. I don't know how many. It's
About 5,
decently
I
into.
believe.
Is it 5? Yeah,
I think it's 5 quests in, yeah.
It's decently into the main quest line for Clockwork City to get this. But the big problem is these crows from the Crow's Court will ask you to get these items because they're crows and they like shiny garbage. And a lot of people have had issues with like, oh, I need 3 toys. I need 3 cooking utensils, blah, 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 3 ornate things. So that one, as it's mentioned in chat, that one sucks. Okay, yes, it does. That one sucks. I don't do that one anymore. I did when I originally had to get the achievement for doing 30 of them. But the thing I can suggest, it's not flawless, but it will make your life easier if you're trying to actually do it. So if you're given the one for getting utensils or toys or something like that, it'll give you these specific situations. Go to Mournhold, and there is the Ebony Flask, I believe is the name of the inn that's right there. It's just up to the side of the Way Shrine when you enter Mournhold. If you go over if how can I explain this without having a map? So you will want to head in the direction of the boat dock and the Thieves Guild entrance. You can pickpocket a loop of people there. The odds that you will get every item you need within 1 or 2 loops is almost a guarantee for me. And I don't think my RNG is just freakishly good because I literally did it 30 times originally to do this. So yes, it's still super annoying. Run that loop. You'll almost always get the garbage you need. Don't sell the extra crap off. Keep it in your inventory if you can. And then when the next day comes around, you might already have the other crap in your inventory. And you might just be able to immediately turn in the quest.
That's
just
a rock solid tip.
Yeah, so that's just something I've suggested to some people that asked. Again, not perfect, but it made my life a hell of a lot easier.
I like that. For as someone who hates doing dailies, if I ever need to do it, this is a good tip.
Yeah. So that's how I do it, or did it in order to get my achievement for 30 of them. So
I just like to see every single particle effect in the game go off at once. So I like doing the world boss dailies because they're wild right now.
Yes, they're completely deranged. And since this is honestly, so I am terrible at doing these events, but this one's new, so I just kind of wanted to see it. And it's like, okay, it's just, the repeatables or whatever, but I was like, whatever, let's try to actually do this. So I've done my dailies since it started, shocking, which is quite out of character for me. And I just do one so that I get the ticket quest. And yeah, I just choose the world boss ones and I just go there and I'm like, Wall of Elements, and I just stare at the thing until I get credit.
I get sad when I get there the last second. I can't get a hit before the boss dies. And it's like however many minutes waiting time, which I've been saying it for so long, but the respawn times should be decreased by a lot during these events. So I don't have to wait around for... Like, if I'm streaming, for example, I don't stream event stuff at all, because most of it is just spent waiting for stuff to respawn, and I get
See, that's prime content there, Ark.
Yeah, just
making
me
people watch you wait.
I mean, I hate waiting in general anyway, so it's just me on a stream staring at my screen like, yep. Now we wait for 5 minutes for this boss, and then the other one, and then the other one, which was way worse with Hero Stars when they first came out. Oh my god.
See, all you have to do is just start talking about Pokemon and Post Malone, and then it wastes a ton of time. And you're supposed to be playing Elder Scrolls and talking about Elder Scrolls.
And then boom, there we go.
I can only talk about Pokemon and Post Malone for so many times. I think there's like, the limit is somewhere around 5.
I've got unlimited stories about both for you, so.
Wow, perfect.
That is a very specific thing to have unlimited stories in.
My children love Post Malone song circles.
Oh my god. My son loves many Post Malone songs, and that's because Baker went through a Post Malone phase for a little while. And the amount of Post Malone songs that my son now sings by himself is
I've never listened to Post Malone, and looking at Post Malone and knowing that he's a rapper, does he make music in the sense that kids of that age should listen?
It's not super. He has some explicit songs, but most of his stuff's pretty poppy, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. So like the one of the newer Spider-Man movies, the animated one, Into the Spider-Verse, had his song Sunflower, and that song's fairly clean.
Most of the songs are pretty clean.
Like Circles, Stay is okay. Sunflower is good. There's like all of his singing songs. And then he actually did this thing on YouTube where he covered a bunch of Nirvana stuff. And then for the Pokemon thing, he did a cover of Only Want to Be With You by Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
Which was surprisingly good.
so unexpected.
Yeah, it's like that, and then like he does like Sublime covers sometimes live too. So hip hop isn't my style of music at all, but when Baker got super into Post Malone, he was like, "Listen, you'll like these songs by him because he's singing
the singles
stuff in these songs." So I like the songs where he's singing. I'm not so much about rap because it's just not my style of music, but his songs that he sings, like Circles and the other ones that I listed, those are I love those.
Okay, yeah, I just assumed it was going to be a lot more like a massive explicit songs,
No,
then yeah.
No,
I was
he's
like,
yeah. I'm not the big. I don't
Kids?
dislike Post Malone,
Fair, I
but
was
yeah,
like-
it's just it's pretty mellow, especially
That
compared
being
to the
said,
other stuff I
like-
actually listen to. It's like could play it in a nursery.
My son actually like sings along with System of a Down songs and
Oh,
stuff.
Perfect. See, that's
Well, that
much
works
better.
So-
for puzzles. Like he could be doing a puzzle and just being like, "Why don't the pieces fit?"
Oh, my son now is like, "Mommy, I want to listen to a song with screaming in it." I'm like, okay.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I'll send you a video later. So my kid's favorite song right now is "Everlong" by Foo Fighters.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
my 2-year-old has the best rock out hardcore face you've ever seen. So
So I've been working on a cover of back in Cyberpunk land for just a second. I promise it's quick. I've been working on some samurai covers because I've picked up
Oh.
guitar again. And so I've been working on those. And so I've been listening to a bunch of samurai songs like while we're in the car and stuff, just that way I can like remember them by the time I get home and like actually sit down to play and learn them. My son comes in here with his ukulele while I'm practicing Never Fade Away. And he starts like wildly strumming his guitar, his ukulele, and starts screaming the lyrics of Never Fade Away. And it ends with him trying to smash his ukulele on the ground. I'm frantically trying to stop him. I have a video I'll send you guys later. It's hilarious.
Okay, at this rate, he's just gonna start calling you Corpo Suit rather than Mom. you'll tell him to like chew with his mouth closed or whatever, and he's like Corpo Suits telling us what to do.
Oh god, I will say, like, even though he almost destroyed the thing we bought for him, or I thought he was going to, I was so proud in that moment. I was like, I
Speaking
think
of
it's
music,
parenting done right.
speaking of music, do I want to buy the Mother Morrowind Sacred Lullaby music box? Have you
Yes.
listened to it? It's so
I haven't
good.
listened to it.
It's so
but
good,
yes,
and it-
you
which
Which
wanna-
one's that?
The detail on
Oh,
that
it's
music
beautiful.
box is like kind of mind-boggling. That's
Wait, are we
so-
talking here? So I couldn't make the transition.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
Sorry. It's a weird thing. I was bringing it back from Post Malone back to Elder
yeah.
Scrolls
Pylawn
again.
brought it back. Yeah, I was gonna say it's the level of detail in it is like borderline disturbing. It's so detailed.
I haven't
See,
seen
the problem
this.
is I need to buy crowns.
Oh, say, just you could just
Just
sub
do
for
it.
the next 16 years.
But I already do.
Oh,
I won't get
yeah,
them
you're gonna
until
need to buy
next year.
crowns. Yeah, you're gonna
yeah.
gonna need to buy the crowns then.
I'm gonna have to buy
How
some
much
crowns.
is it this time?
1,000 crowns.
1,000. Okay.
Oh, that's
Their value keeps changing. So I'm
Yeah, so they're a bit all over the place for the music boxes.
yeah.
oh really?
It's so good though.
Guess they haven't figured out what they can really settle the price on, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
I agree with Miriam Pearl in chat. That music box is perfect. Like it's literally like I listen to it and I'm just like, I love it.
I'll have to
I
log in
need
and
to
check
listen
it out.
to this
because
one now.
Yeah, both Pixie and we've been playing Valheim rather than ESO, so we are
just
not up
bought
to date
Valheim.
on a lot of things.
You just
bought it?
ratted me out.
Look, there's nothing to rat out. It's the facts. First it was
It's
Cyberpunk,
hard to
now it's
pull
Valheim. I haven't.
At least we're on the same page. Like,
Hey,
it's
I
not
think I
just
just saw
one
on
of
Twitter
us.
like before we started that Rich installed Valheim.
Yeah. So we are not
That
gonna get
makes me
any
feel
ESO
better.
updates
Fine.
for a long time, folks.
Yeah, no,
because
everybody's
it's-
just
the
resigned.
creative
It's all over.
director is gone for the next at least 4 weeks as he builds himself you know, the logs, the longhouses, figures out how to do things. So yeah. Well, I'll have to check it out after the stream. Now I'm curious because what do you mean in terms of detail? Like the graphical detail or the musical detail?
Well,
I
the
mean
music
both, but like the physical of it, it's like
But yeah, it's a literal like the castle comes up and turns and stuff like that. It looks
okay. I remember that. I remember seeing the GIF like on Twitter or something. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that you're right. I
Yeah,
forgot that thing existed.
yep, it's very very impressive looking.
My favorite one is still the 500 companions with the ship
The boat.
sailing as well, with the longboat sailing on top
I
of
should have
it.
bought
Yeah.
that one because it
Yeah,
looks
that
so
one's
cool.
awesome looking. Mine's
that-
actually Mine's the original music box, but it's funny because because I love the way it sounds.
With the main theme from ESO, right?
Theme.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because since it's not really a thing to like show off, they've become much more elaborate. Most people don't notice it. It's like one of those things. I actually have it inverted, and it's actually in the rafter when you walk through. People actually, because it's got the little like Ouroboros thing, people actually think it's like the door frame. It's actually the music box like in the thing, and nobody ever knew for like the longest time. So it was like, oh yeah, no, that's not just an Ouroboros hovering. That's where I put it. Just because I was like, where do I put it? Because I wanted to play music when you walk in, like, and that's where I wanted to be the loudest.
That's actually a very good way to get Ouroboros in the game, I guess, because we don't have an actual Ouroboros furniture in ESO.
Yeah, just a giant Ouroboros, right? Right.
I have the red diamond and the Ysgramor one. Red diamond is real nice as well. Also, it reminds us our outro every single time.
Yep.
So
I've been asking for this for multiple years now, but I want a soundtrack of all the music boxes. Like a Spotify soundtrack. I would listen to that all the time, like while I work.
It would be so relaxing.
Right?
I know.
They could just sell it as a DLC as well, because they already sell the soundtrack as a DLC, on Steam.
Right. It is. It's
maybe they will do it once they like release all of them, so it's a complete album, and then
Volume 1 and Volume 2. Then they make more money.
Just like this, it's Volume 2 of the UESP crossover.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because they are very nice. They are not as orchestral as the original scores, but more.
They're very minimal, and that's what I like.
Yeah, I think that's neat that they didn't just like, it just plays this song when you go in. It's like, no,
I wouldn't have liked that at all.
Music box version, like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It would have been strange to have a full orchestra in the in the box.
It's just blaring.
I mean, the Telvanni magic, maybe.
Well, and I mean, the easy solution would be to just like, you just can control the music in your house. And it's like, this is not the easier solution. Like, this is, you actually record this stuff. It's like, I don't know. I think those things are very
I'm looking forward to them adding some of them as collectibles in the game, though. Like as a dungeon reward, trial reward, something. Give us a reward music box.
Isn't that where the original one came from? The first one was like a login reward, wasn't it?
I think they gave one as a login reward, I think. But
one's an antiquity.
Oh yes, there was an antiquity one. Yeah,
that one's
true.
rough. That is a tough one to get.
And I think it's Aldmere related, that antiquity one.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I don't
have a piece of it in Grotwood.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't have it, but it's great.
I'm not going to farm 4 hours to get an Aldmere audio box. That's not right.
An audio box. Now I really want them to have like a boom box that I can put on one of my house guests. Like just put it on like the one that we got barmaid
or whatever.
Yeah, so I can put like a boom box, like an old like style, so I can like have it playing at someone's window.
Or just have a Betty Netch doing beatboxing out front.
There you go. No, Betty Netch drumming, not beatboxing.
Perfect. Yeah, see, there it is.
There you go.
Boom,
massive drum set. It's just gonna use 6 arms to rock on with some.
Yep. You're welcome, Zos.
Yeah, we are shooting out $1 million ideas right here.
Yeah, we're just
Bardvark
helping with
boombox.
Yep.
Yeah, boom boxes, music box, soundtrack, Vardvark mounts.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, great. These are at least $22 ideas.
Yeah. Hey, and at least 4 people here will buy that. That's $100. Yeah. That's 100 bones right there, Lotus. Don't laugh at that.
So we require revenue share now, Zas.
Yep.
It's 5% stake at the entire company from these 3 ideas.
Which is going to be weird because we're going to be the biggest buyers and we're getting 5% of what we're giving them.
Oh, no. I mean 5% of entire ZeniMax Online Studios.
Oh, okay. Then I'm fine with that.
And because now Microsoft
really
owns
like
ZeniMax Online Studios, we get 5% of Microsoft. So
I'm
perfect.
fine with this.
I love it.
That makes
this sounds like the negotiation I had with Ark over DMs in Discord the other day.
Oh, that was hilarious. I could not stop laughing.
I appreciated it.
I tried to.
I did too.
For everybody listening, I tried to negotiate raises for Lotus and HyperPixie
And
on the podcast, and I was
I-
successful.
Yeah, I authorized it. I mean,
I know.
how,
The legal
how much?
offices of
How many
Pylawn
I got
percent
a
was that?
1,000% raise.
Oh, there you go.
It was
Yeah,
a 1,000% raise.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I'm a good boss. See, if I had a company, if I was
mean,
running
I'm
a
happy.
company, I would be a very good boss. I just because Pylawn said I raised everyone's salary for like 1,000%, which is
Yeah.
still zero. It's perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But
It's the thought that counts, though.
I also like SD guess the exact amount of what we got. We got 1,000% more of nothing.
It's math. That's you can't fight the math. It's absolute.
Yep.
But still, a
Nailed it.
1,000% raise, I feel, is very generous.
It's more numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have done
that's all that matters.
10,000, but Pylawn asked for 1,000, and that's like the.
I don't even
You don't-
remember what I asked.
It
I don't know. It was
hilarious.
very badly scribbled on paint or something.
I know you drew back the contract to me. It was great.
Yeah.
This is what we talk about when we're not on air.
Yeah. Just.
Yep.
And it was I sent you
I
from the
guess
letterhead of
this is
Pylawn,
what we
Pylawn,
talk
and
about
Pylawn.
on air as well. This.
I guess, yeah.
We are who we are, both live and offline. It's
It's true.
It's how we can prove the show is not scripted.
yeah. There was a time that people actually thought Tales was scripted, and I don't know how you would think this absolute nightmare and chaos of banter can be scripted. Like it's
Well, I mean, other than our incoherent ramblings like this, I think what it was related to sometimes where, like with the halls of refrigeration, the fact that it turns out that like we share a fridge, like that's pretty awkward that actually happened
Yeah.
to be the case. Like,
How is that still a thing? I keep like side-eyeing my fridge, by the way, anytime I hear any kind of
any
strange
sound.
noise.
I'm so sorry that I've given you PTSD for fridges.
I'm so scared of my refrigerator breaking now. It keeps me up at night. I now feel like anytime I buy anything, I need to run it by you first.
If I've already bought and been let down by it. Also, I'm pretty sure I just made up a word with bought in. I made it past tense for
Is
bought.
it bad that I didn't even notice that wasn't a word?
I did.
I think botan is one of those words that has become a word because it's been so frequently misused.
Right. But
that
it
sounds
bothers
like
me
a
because
Shakespearean English word.
I
Boffin.
doth
It's-
bottom.
Yeah, something like that. Thou shalt not have both thy fridge.
Bottoning.
You guys, I got so
Botan
many
is correct.
DMs about
According
that
to
fridge.
Merriam-Webster, it is correct to use botan as a past participle of buy.
Wow.
There you go.
Really?
Participles. The past
man.
participles, like I just wanted to throw things at that point. It's like I'm just gonna talk. And
See,
that's just whatever comes
this
out
is
is what comes
where-
out.
it seems like this should be scripted, but we're out of sync from where it should be. This totally fits into my Battlespire tales.
Okay, you know
does.
what? We are at that point where we can jump into Tales. I was gonna let Pylawn go first, but now that you said it,
No, let Lotus go
let's
first.
tie
You
it
got
in.
the
Yeah,
segue.
let's
Okay,
get some
so-
Battlespire struggle bus Tales in.
Here's the segue. So, just to make this connection here, I'm not even sure the exact pronunciation of this, but so I streamed some more Battlespire, and here's the situation. There's some new things we learned about Battlespire. Riddle doors are back. I don't get it
You
with these
poor
old
soul.
games and the riddle doors, but they've returned, and reading these notes and the questions that they phrase to you through just general dialogue, we encountered several words that I actually needed to look up on stream because I have never heard of these. One of which was the password to his so you find this wizard, which I'll get into that whole issue in a second, but you find this wizard guy and he gives me the code to get into his private quarters. And Boostrophodin, I believe is. I'll type it in chat for anybody who's here live.
Yeah, I was going to say because I don't have no idea.
Oh yes, of course, the booster Foden.
Oof, it is rough to even spell. But yeah, so I learned this word on stream because I literally did nothing. Yeah, like
That sounds like a prescription.
Sounds like a dinosaur.
Like ibuprofen type thing. Honestly, it's
like a drug.
Generic ibuprofen. Or wait, is ibuprofen the generic? I don't remember. It's
yeah,
too late
close
for
enough.
this.
Ibuprofen's the generic. Advil is the brand name.
There we go.
But yeah, so it's a style of writing mostly seen in ancient manuscripts. Like I officially felt educated after finding out about this on stream, which was not what I expected to get.
So wait, that word means a style of writing in ancient scripts.
Yes.
From right to left.
Or is it a style of writing in ancient scripts?
From right. So it's a style where you it's means that what is it? It means the same from right to left as left to right, I believe is.
It's written right to left and left to right, so it goes like
yes.
Like a zigzag down.
So like a zigzag pattern.
So that style is called this word that I'm not even going to try
According
and
to
pronounce.
Google, it's pronounced Boostrophodon.
Okay, so Boostrophodon. There. So Battlespire teaches. Not what I expected.
Oh man, I feel that from Morrowind though. When I was a kid playing Morrowind, there were so many like big words I remember learning because I was like, what? When Morrowind came out, like 15 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And then just being like, oh yeah, I learned this word from like Morrowind. Then I'd like be like a smart ass kid and be like use it in school the next day, thinking I'm like a genius. But
so
throwing Dwemer ruin names at the teachers.
Oh god.
See, I had the reverse happen. I had a teacher who would assign like a word of the week, but the teacher really liked strange words. So I had to find a way to work dromedary into a sentence.
What?
Which is like a specific type of class.
I was gonna say
camel.
that's a class of camels.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't remember if it was the one with one hump or two, but I had to find a way to tell my family about dromedaries with it being like natural conversation.
So you spit on them.
Yeah.
And say, I'm impersonating a dromedary.
I mean, just go to them and today we learned dromedaries and that's...
Well, so my mom used to live in Saudi Arabia and I was like, Mom, did you ever get to see the dromedaries when you lived near the desert? And it turns out she did and she was terrified of them.
They're big. Yeah, I was going to say, they're enormous. I actually see, and who says video games don't teach you anything? If you play Fallout 76, one of your perks, which allows you to hold water longer and get dehydrated slower, is called the dromedary perk.
That's amazing.
There you go.
So there you go.
It works right back around.
Yep.
See, this is how you know this show is in fact scripted.
Exactly. So what was it? Oh, right. So yeah, I just figured I would bring that up with the language thing blew my mind. Also, the riddle doors returning in Battlespire. I'm guessing that means there's going to be riddle doors in some of the other games like Daggerfall, because I don't know. I don't know what the obsession is with these things.
There used to be a big D&D thing. I think that's why.
Okay, because
that's what they were real big like. DM would be like, also, it's a riddle door.
You have to think about it. We are talking about 94, 96. There isn't much you can do with the gameplay. So you gotta add something to the game. So.
Okay. All right.
I mean, even Lord of the Rings had a riddle door in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
see?
yeah, you're right. Okay, so I guess
it's a trope.
feel like they overuse them a lot. Elder Scrolls, but yeah. So other than education, I beat level 1. That's
you actually got out of level 1.
I got out of level 1. But here's why level 1 is bullshit. So the amount of enemies you fight is pretty rough. But it turns out the pathing is way rougher in that game. So the trick is everything just pelts you with projectiles or gets stuck in walls. So what you can do is just constantly try to break line of sight, and they'll blow themselves up, making your life way, way easier as long as you're out of range. Yeah. So very helpful. So that was good. The reason that I say this was pretty BS was I could not for the life of me figure out how to open this final door. This was the thing that had held me up for a really long time. I attached any of the anchors that I could get. I apparently missed one thing, but it's like I scoured that map everywhere. And I'm going to assume it was probably Slaps because he's like the clip master. But the clip was taken of me basically.
Oh, this was me.
Oh, was this you? Okay.
Yeah.
When I literally gave up and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I just whacked my keyboard, which one of the keys is enter. A wall just opened. It just opened up. And the main quest character was behind the wall. I'm like, you hid the main quest giver? Like, what kind of sick monster would do that?
The look on his face was the best thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It was amazing.
So now I'm totally traumatized because I assume that they're going to just, and chat did tell me that from people looking things up, one of the major complaints is quest and main story progression is in secrets. Like they just straight up put them in floorboards and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, good luck finding this item. And it's just like, oh, it's under this carpet that's in this room that's down a random wing of and I'm like, why would anyone do that? Like, why would that happen? But yeah. And I don't know, the only remaining wizard there, he looked like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. We had Mortal Kombat reference earlier. So that's who I think he looks like. He's kind of a douche and then just stopped talking to me. But the only other thing which I made reference to before with the scamp that kind of was getting mouthy about where the key was up its butt and stuff. So this is a little weird because it's not meant to be as this game has some weird sex stuff in it. Like we had the spider mating den joke in Arena. There are spider Daedra, and they were all stuck. I'm pretty sure there's another clip of this where they were like 5 enemies and they were all just spinning. I mean, they were stuck. But I made the joke of like, what are they all doing? And made some joke about like, oh, they must all be getting it on. And then I tried talking to them and they made a bunch of awkward sex dick jokes, which I was like, wait a minute. And like, it was not so subtle. So like, I'm not sure what's going on with this game or who the writing staff was, but yeah, I'm not sure. Like the spider just straight up hits on me, but then says I'm not his type and he's not interested. And I was like, okay. And
maybe
then
if you played like a female tune,
I'm not sure. Because he definitely makes a couple shrimp analogies, which I was like, I don't like where any of this is going. And then he attacked me and killed me because he does way too much damage. But yeah, so I'm not sure how much weirder this game is going to get, but just a heads up for those of you who might not enjoy that. I don't know what the deal is with this game. This game is somehow way weirder than Arena. And I thought Arena was pretty weird. This is taking the cake, like by a mile so far.
Early Elder Scrolls games, like Elder Scrolls Online, Skyrim, whatever, they are very tame.
They
compared
really
to the
are.
Yeah, compared to the early games.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my Battle Spire experience since last show. So 7 hours, I made it to level 2. I was told there are, I think, 7 or 8 levels. So I'll probably complete this game I don't know, about the time of next year's ESO expansion, I assume. But the other things that I did were much less impressive than dying a lot in Battlespire. We had talked about you guys doing Stone Garden. I actually realized that I needed to go in there a couple weeks back and hadn't done it. So we went in and cleared Stone Garden hard mode.
Of course you did.
At this point, it's not even like a highlight for Lotus. It's like, yeah, I cleared Stone Garden hard mode, no big deal. Whatever.
So we got our Stone Garden hard modes, which completed our challengers. So we're back to 100% on the challengers. And then I ran with a different group and we completed Stone Garden hard mode again. And I feel confident in saying that once you learn what to face tank and what to avoid, it looks much more intimidating than it is. The execute phase is hysterical. Like, I wish I had saved our audio to go with it, which I did not, because it was just a screaming, I'm pinned, I'm pinned, I'm pinned, run, I'm pinned, I'm pinned, I'm pinned, and run, and that's all you do. It's just, and it's 4 of us all doing it because it's, without ruining it, it's very, very hectic to close out the fight. But it's actually not as bad as it is. There's just a lot of stuff happening. So it was a funny experience to go through in the end. But yeah, it's definitely no joke of a hard mode for sure. I decided to try to fill out my sticker book, which we were talking about earlier, with some monster sets. And I realized that I didn't have the right weight on my Lord Warden shoulders. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just get a pair of these. And I'll get, the extra coffers as well, because it's any of the DLC dungeons. 107 keys to get 1 pair of Lord Warden shoulders.
Woof.
Ouch.
I hate the key RNG. It's
not great. Not great. On the bright side, the rest of my sticker book is good to go. I have 1 pair of Lord Warden shoulders. So I
had the same thing with Zons.
I remember you had the same thing with Zons, which was why. So I bought like 10 and I didn't get it. So I bought like 10 more and I didn't get it. And then I spite bought like the other 87 and I didn't open it until like the last one. I was like, I'm going to go through all of these. I'm never going to get my shoulders. I don't believe this. This was supposed to be me wasting keys, not me actually needing to then get more keys so that I can buy more of these. Like, this isn't how this was supposed to work. And then the only other Elder Scrolls Online thing I have, which a couple shows ago I mentioned that I couldn't recommend the Alcast Werewolf Arena build enough, and I just did a little bit of tweaking to my play style. I went back in because I said, hey, maybe with a little practice I can do this. So on my 3rd completion of VMA, I got my Flawless Conqueror.
Nice.
On my tank.
Well, werewolf tank.
Werewolf tank.
Yeah.
It's honestly, you can be a werewolf like fish, and you're gonna be like, what is that?
Yeah, werewolves and VMA are my favorite way to play. Like, if I have to do it,
it is unbelievable. Now, my build isn't exactly what his is. Just use his; it's fine.
Yeah, I've altered mine from his too a little bit, but
yeah, but the amount of leeway they give you is shocking because you have so much health regen.
Oh yeah, you just skip mechanics.
It's just nonsense. When I was like, well, I'll just, I won't go super fast because it took me an hour and 14 minutes to beat it. But I was like, I'll just go slow, and I'll just crematorial things, the crematorial guards. I'm just eating their fire, and I'm like, these things suck. They don't do as much damage as like I remember any of this doing. It's like your health regen is so high on that build. So if you're struggling with VMA, I definitely suggest give it a shot. It is getting nerfed. Honestly, it doesn't seem like it's getting that nerfed. It's just your resistances won't be like massively over cap. And I think your regen is going down slightly from being like 7,000 health a second, which is completely nonsense. My final tale isn't even really a tale. It's just I wanted to shout out Loctavian, who myself and Avron Doodles from UESP as well got to guest on his stream, in which we did a Daedric Prince elimination awesomeness tournament, which the rules were kind of vague. It basically got set up like March Madness for anybody who likes basketball. But we did it in February, but he set up brackets based on votes that he had. It was really cool. So if you don't know Loctavian, I definitely suggest checking out his channel.
Octavian's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Octavian.
It's so great. But we had a lot of fun doing that. And I would like to just point out that the undisputed victor, which took a little bit of wordplay on my part to dig myself out of my own situation where I made it seem like Dagon was invincible. No comment from you, Ark.
No. I will comment.
Hermaeus Mora came out victorious in a totally not rigged and wildly unbiased.
You just swayed the entire jury with your Hermaeus Mora fanboyism.
I was like, going into that, I was like, so Hermaeus Mora is going to win because this is like the least biased person having like a discussion
up until
about
the
this
finals.
I've
I
ever
agree.
met.
Up until the finals, I agreed with every outcome, like it was plausible. But Marinus Dagon versus Hermaeus Mora, Dagon just has brute force both in followers, realm, and himself, so he could just overwhelm Mora regardless of what he knows, in my opinion.
Those Seekers are terrifying.
Okay, Seekers are terrifying for us, but when a like skyscraper-like four-armed Goro version of a Daedric Prince swings an axe at you, those Seekers are not going to do much.
Valid, but I was going to say, I mean, when you're just a giant tentacle gas blob, who says he can't just be like the size of a space nebula in the end?
Like, still, what is he going to do? The other guy has an axe. It's
what do you? He's not a solid object. What's he going to swing through Hermaeus Mora?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is Mora can also like disappear and like not be there anymore, so it's not like you can just chop him up.
But Dagon's like too dumb for Mora's intelligence to be useful.
Yeah, but I mean, being useful is not the point.
Well, the other thing which was funny, which I totally would never use to my advantage in that argument, was the fact that we didn't really have hard guidelines. It was sometimes it was like who's the coolest, sometimes it's who's the strongest. There was one or two scenarios where it's like which one's like the best looking. So the rules changed a lot, which was really easy to Hermaeus Mora my way into victory. I could just keep
it was a great discussion. It was a lot of fun to watch. Like,
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So funny.
So I appreciated it quite a bit. And it was really good because everybody had a decent amount of research at their disposal. So whether we agreed with each other's points or not, between Avron, myself, and Loctavian, we were pulling out some very esoteric, like, lore book. It's like, here's an excerpt from, the 16 accounts of madness that says this would be a reasonable background for why I think this person's better than this one. So it was a lot of fun.
Did you only research Hermaeus Mora?
No, actually, I'm
gonna see him with all these books, and it'd be like, I don't care about the other ones. Just keep moving on. Go.
Not gonna lie, didn't really need to research Hermaeus Mora. I tried to actually research how to poke holes in a couple of the Daedric princes that I was concerned about being better than Hermaeus Mora.
That's amazing.
The worst outcome for any Daedric prince out there during that discussion was just Malakath, though, because it just got disregarded as being a literal poop. You just who was it that Malakath went against?
I don't
even remember the opponent because it wasn't even. You just went ahead and said, "Well, yeah, Malakath is literally poop," and it was just done. You just
move on.
I ruined poor Rykoth's time immediately.
Just like right off the bat, disregarded Malakath as poop.
Yeah,
and went ahead with it.
That one. But
even Periite wasn't taken down with that much insult.
Yeah, it was It was a lot of fun. So definite recommendation if you haven't ever seen Loctavian stream. It was a pleasure to be on there with Avron. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me since the last show.
I will say, I feel like the only reason to worship Periite is like if you really need the day off work and you're really bad at faking sick, and so you need to actually get sick. That would be a reason to worship Periite.
Yep.
I mean, isn't he also the taskmaster? Like, I know he's the taskmaster, but what does that task involve? What does he do as a taskmaster? I do not know. Does he help you schedule your, like, is he like a project manager?
He's one of those.
That's what I would assume. It's just like, oh, my work reports are out of order. Could you please organize my desk? Like, so head colds and minimal organization of mundane tasks. Like, did you remember to go to the gym? Did you shower afterwards? Did you have a protein bar so that you have proper nutrition? Like, that's really all I picture with Perry.
He's Siri.
But then, did you shower? He would hope that you wouldn't, so that you would get germy.
Right, because then you'd
get a head
cold.
That's
so demented Siri. Like, you know how the watch,
the deranged Siri.
So Pylawn has the same watch that I do, and it like enforces proper hand washing. And if you stop washing your hands, like, why did you stop washing your hands? It's like, because I wasn't actually washing my hands. I just turned on the water for
that. Wasn't 25 seconds. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, why'd you stop? It's like,
reminds me of the Duolingo memes, the language app. You skip your Spanish lesson, you know what happens now, and then there's a front door emergency alert just behind that notification.
I love those.
It's Duolingo, I guess, is useful, but yeah, it can get very memey with its notifications.
For whatever reason, in the Duolingo vein, like, I haven't used Duolingo in years. And I never got emails from it or notifications from it. I don't even have it on my phone. And then all of a sudden, like within the past couple days, I've been getting a crap ton of emails from Duolingo.
Oh, they tracked you down. Why? You're done now.
I'm screwed. If you don't hear from me next week.
Yep, so yeah, we are going to have a co-host spot open in quite soon.
The owl's going to get me.
We need someone preferably keeping up with their Duolingo classes, apparently, so we don't lose them either. Anyway, Pylawn, what have you been up to in the world of Elder Scrolls?
Since the last time I was on the show, let's see, what have I done? It's been a year.
It has
been.
It's been a year.
It's been last time I was on the show, we only kind of knew about COVID.
That's true.
That went downhill quickly.
Yeah, that was much more fun before, when we thought it was just like
we'll be back to work in 2 weeks.
People get the sniffles for a little while. It's like, oh no.
So I just checked, and last episode it was March 9, 2020. Yeah. Wow. So almost exactly a year ago.
It's almost exactly.
March 9th, 2020, and our office is shut down on March 16th.
Yeah.
And I haven't been back in my office since March 16th. So that was literally just before when everyone was like, "Oh, I wonder if this is going to be a big deal or not."
Yeah.
Whoops. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
In more recent terms, let's see. So I've been doing a lot of the event stuff, which has actually been really fun. Especially because I've been running, I've just been like, I did AS 10 times last night. Just spamming out to get all the just on normal, just to get all the motifs and stuff like that. I don't have actually many exciting things. I've been playing Oblivion, as Pixie copied me to do. I mean, Pixie copied me. We just were twins.
We shared a brain for a second. It's fine.
I've been ready to. I finally got the trial bug. I haven't really done trials in ESO ever before because I used to play WoW a ton. I used to be really big into WoW, and raids in WoW are way more time consuming, I would say, than in trials in ESO are. So I was afraid of them. Not like afraid, like, oh, I don't know if I'm like good enough, I can do it. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to commit. Because like when I did raids in WoW, it's like you're committing 3 nights a week of like 4 hours a night to
So
clear.
I don't.
Yeah, it
I don't
feels a
play
lot
well,
more
but
hardcore.
They're much more involved.
Yeah, they're way
From what
more
I've
involved
seen.
too. And it's like you don't like in WoW, you're not finishing a raid in a night. Like a full mythic raid. You're not doing it in a night. You're doing it over the course of a week. And
Wait,
you'll
is
be
it
doing
like
multiple.
With training, or you just save your progress and
You save your progress.
oh wow.
And it resets
Yeah.
every week.
Oh.
It has a weekly reset. So you would get like 3 bosses down and then you'd go back later that week and do it. So like
Wow.
in my brain, I was thinking that's what was going to be trials in ESO. And I'm like, I don't want to commit to that. I'm old now. Like I can't commit. I have like kids and like responsibilities. I can't commit like 4 hours a night to doing this. So then like I finally was like ran one like I think it was like Cloud Rest and it was a mini trial. So I was like, okay, well I'll do that. It was a mini trial that was fun. And then I think it was HRC and I was like, oh, this isn't nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be. It's like you just kind of run through and do all the mechanics. And like I can see how they'll be more difficult training up when you're doing like score pushes and stuff like that. Like
Or
I
when
can
it's
see
new.
them being very difficult. Like making sure you learn it, but it's nowhere near the same level of like involvement. I would say it's not that they're harder or easier. It's WoW ones are just so much more involved.
Yeah.
So I've been joining Kiz and his other guild, Eyes of the Queen, doing all their like coffer runs that they have. So that's been a lot of fun. So I've been like learning all the mechanics because I'm still like garbage bottom tier DPS in them. But it's because I've never done them before, so I don't know any of the mechanics or like where to move in this different start. Yeah, my first veteran Sunspire was fine. I did that with Pixie.
Yeah.
That was fun. And yeah,
That was a great time.
We wiped on the first boss a few times, and then I think we got our rhythm. And then I don't think we had any other real wipes. We had a couple like glitchy things, and
Yeah, we wiped on YOLO, but that was because one of our GDs and our other healer lost their internet connection. Like
because they like
entirely.
knocked something off their desk. Remember?
Yeah, that's
so
what it
funny.
was. They lived in the same house. They were a couple, and they like knocked something off their desk, and their internet went down. So it took them a little while to join back. But
Yeah.
solo healing and also down a damage dealer on a training run was interesting.
Yeah, it didn't go so well. But we did fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think we wiped there once, and then we wiped on the last boss once, maybe.
I don't think we wiped on the last
Did
boss.
we not wipe on?
I don't think
Aventos?
so. Kiz is in
It's been
chat.
so
He'll correct
long
us
now.
in a minute. But yeah, that was like a month ago now.
Yeah, Kiz
So that was my
the-
first like real raid, or not raid, trial, like an actual vet trial and stuff like that. And Kiz was the raid leader, and Kiz did a great job.
Kiz was the raid leader.
Kid was
Yeah.
the
That
I
sounds
was
like
brave.
a horrible time.
Well, okay, I can explain. So Kiz kept like poking me, and he's like, I think we have enough people in the Hyper Alliance to get like a vet trials team, like just loosely thrown together. I was like, all right, you do it, and I'll show up to it. And so that's how Kiz became raid lead. Because
it was fun though. He did a good
I had a
job.
blast.
Yeah,
He
I had
did
a lot
do
of
a
fun
great
with that
job.
too.
I mean, he could do
Um,
the best job, and I will still tease him. So it's
That's valid.
That's fair. Yeah, I needed. He'd been like training me. Like it was like we had like Rocky montages before where he would teach me how to parse. Because like I never actually because I wasn't doing trials. I was like I've never parsed before. So I think when I first started with Kiz, I was parsing at like 24K because I just never thought of anything. And then like now my best parse I had was like 76K now. And I still don't have like all the gear I wanted to have. Like I still have like purple jewelry and stuff like that. So Kiz is a good coach if you need to learn how to actually do damage in the game. Because I totally didn't understand how rotations worked before at all. I never even thought about it. Now I actually understand. Because also, I just rolled my first DPS character like at the beginning or at the end of last year. I think in November. I'd only ever done tanks and heals before in ESO because I was just like my main character was a tank. Rumpel Gwarskin's a tank, and I did all my questing on him, which is the worst. Questing on a tank is just so painful.
yeah.
So I'd only done that, so I hadn't done DPS. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how these rotations are
So
supposed to
wait,
go.
how much DPS did you make then on this fresh DPS attempt? Do you know the value? Like how many? Is it like 20k, 50k, 70k? Did you check on the training dummy?
So on my last one on the training dummy, I can do the most I've done now is 76k.
Okay, that's slightly better than my first attempt, which was like 14k. That's valid.
Oh, my first attempt was 24k. Was the first time I ever did it.
That's still slightly better.
I just loved how Pixie and I both guessed, and you were just like, well, you have much too much faith in me.
So I asked Lotus and Pixie to guess what DPS I did, and they were like 50k, 70k, and I was like, close, 14. It's
So just on the idea of DPS, because I don't really DPS test, as I don't care, because I never volunteer for anything on DPS. I just begrudgingly go in sometimes on my... Well, I've started clearing vet dungeons on Arkaniir just for extra skill points so that he can be a Grandmaster Crafter, because I'm really going to enjoy when he reaches Grandmaster Crafter status. But I need skill points for that. So he can put out half decent numbers on a Mag DK in dungeons. But my that werewolf build I referred to, like for doing Maelstrom, it's one of those things that you wouldn't think it, because everybody likes big numbers. And look, people aren't wrong for liking big numbers. It makes things easier. The best DPS test I've ever done in that build is 32k.
Same.
And I got a flawless.
So that's the same with mine when I've run it. I got 36k on my werewolf when I did, but like that doesn't matter because Maelstrom's not a DPS race.
Exactly. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's one of my favorite things that Zynode likes to actually point out to a lot of people. Yes, DPS is good. Yes, you can burn through stuff, and that's totally a legit strategy in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
But if you can survive and just not go down because you know what you're doing, just consistently having DPS, you will almost always clear something, which I really like that's an option. Like there are very few hard DPS tests in this game. They're pretty uncommon. Or the DPS requirement is very low if you can just learn to do what you're doing. So it's like, I don't know. I just think that's a great feature that you can get really good at pumping out crazy damage, or you can get really good at just not screwing up. Both of those are
ideally doing both of them is the dream.
Doing both, and suddenly you end up with trifectas and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the best case scenario. But
I find, so the way I kind of look at it for DPS, because I'm like, I hit 76k and I'm like, I told kids, I'm like, I'm happy with this. Like I'm not going to be pushing scores. I'm not going to be doing anything. It's kind of the same thing as like benchmarking your computer. That's not what your computer will be running at for most of the time when you're running games, but it's nice for someone that doesn't know you to understand the baseline. Because if I'm going in and doing a DPS test and I can only do 6,000 DPS, Kiz is raid leading, he's going to be like, okay, I know not to have to rely on you, because if that's, you don't quite know your rotation, you don't know things like that, you don't know all these like things here. It's like a baseline for that kind of thing. It's not going to say I'm going to get that much DPS in a dungeon or that much DPS in a trial, things like that. Like I don't care about measuring it against other people really either. It's more just like, I know that if I know my class well enough, I should be able to get to this kind of baseline number.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then that means I'm not worrying about stuff like mechanics as much because I know how to do my other stuff as well. That means I can spend more time looking at mechanics.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Like you put in the effort type thing. Like it proves that you put in the effort, at least, I suppose.
You have a competent level that you can tell people, I at least know how to do this. Therefore, you can trust that I can do competently in something else. Like there are people that I'm sure that just can parse really, really well, and then will just be dead the entire trial.
Oh yeah.
Which doesn't help. Yeah, there's totally those people out there.
Yeah, but I know people like that in trials teams, but I also like it's so apparent when somebody's like, oh, those might be your, parse numbers, but it's like in combat, they're pretty accurate to what you're doing because it's like, oh my God, this stuff is melting, which then eases up the stress on the tank because you don't need to hold things in position as long. And it's like, it definitely.
And you don't run out of resources because your healers have been falling apart. Like,
Right. So, yep.
Yeah. Ideal situations. Everyone knows their roles. Everyone knows how their rotations work. The tanks know how to hold taunt. But it's nice that you do need to have, especially if you're running with people you don't know, like some way to like maintain everyone's on the same page, so you don't end up with me in my previous state being like, I'm a DPS, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just a liability at this point. Let's see, what other than that? Oh, so I have 2 other goals that I've been working on too. So on stream, when I was streaming on UESP stuff, I discovered my OG character from ESO. So I played in the beta of ESO, and then I can't remember. I think there was like when you bought the game, you got a month free, I think, or maybe I paid for a month back when it first rolled out. And I played then and did not like the game in the slightest. I thought it was like, I just couldn't get into the game. I was like, I don't like this. Because I remember at the time, that's when they were marketing it as like a PvP game. They were kind of pushing that way about it. So like I got my Wood Elf Nightblade, because also I was like, I'll make a stealth archer because that's what I made last in Skyrim when I played it. So I got it to like level 20. And then like I was like, I don't really like this. So I didn't pay the sub anymore, or I didn't sub. I can't remember if I got a free month or something like that. And then like logged out forever. So then I never really played him again, other than I think I like logged in and picked up a couple things on him during like, I'd use one of the event scrolls to like try to get double XP and then not actually use it. So I went in to play him again, and I found like, remember petty soul gems?
I do.
I had them on my character, just being like, oh
amazing.
Yeah, these were a thing. And like the gear set I was using, because I didn't understand sets were real. So it was just like a gray, like jack, some heavy boots, like just random quest rewards, like of Magicka, because I didn't know sets were a thing back then. Like, so it was like all this gear was out of date and brutal. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to level him up. So he's at least I want a stand blade for PvP, and just to make Ark mad. And he's AD, don't worry. And then like also I'm like, I just need to like level him up so I have another 50, because I don't know why I've neglected him for so long. I have like 6 other 50s, and I just neglected the first character I ever made. So I've been working on leveling that guy out, but I was like amazed at seeing the things. And then the other thing on the UESP podcast, before we had the announcement, I was like, just so you know, they're going to rework CP, because I'm almost at max CP, and there's no way they're going to let me get to max CP before reworking the entire system and raising the cap, because I just knew that's what's going to happen. And as soon as that happens, they rework the entire CP system. So I have 29 CP to make in the next week before the patch comes out, so that for the briefest of moments, I might be able to be max CP. So my goal now
is you're not going to get to 3,600 like next week as soon as the patch drops.
Oh yeah, no, totally. It took me like 5 years to get to 810. So my goal is for the next week, I'm just going to crush as much CP as I can. So I'm like popping like the 150 XP scrolls and like doing random dailies and like logging off that character and not touching it until the next daily runs out to get more XP. Doing it on a character that hasn't done the quests in like any of the dungeons yet, so that I get that one as well. And I'm like, I will get 30 CP so that for the briefest moment, I will be like max CP for a minute.
There you go. I mean, for the longest time, I was hanging around 500s and 600s. And then something happened and I jumped to 1,000. I don't know what I started doing that. I guess we started running a whole bunch of dungeons with the Untaunted. That's when my CP started shooting up. But yeah, most of my game time always has been just jumping around doing nothing in the game. I do not know why.
My problem's always been that I'll get to 50 and then I'll like start leveling, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna level someone new. And then I'll start leveling that one, and then like I just never I never push to get more CP. Like it was just like up and down. I'd be like, oh, I'll get there. I'm like, okay, well then, oh, now I'm gonna go do something else. Or I do stuff that like gave no experience. Like I like for a year, I feel like I just did like events and just like logged in, did the event daily, logged off, logged in, did the event daily, logged off. Like, so I like made it like a goal. I will get to 810 before the patch hits on the 8th.
Well, I mean, you're almost there with random dailies, random battleground stuff. You should be able to get it pretty quickly on that many characters.
I got 2 CP before we streamed tonight.
You should have been.
wow.
You should have been playing in the background.
I was literally doing that during the pre-stream. I was like finishing up. I was like, ah. I don't have I can't multitask. I'd be a complete. You wouldn't hear from me the entire time if I was playing.
Imagine you miss it with just like 2 hours. Just 2-3 hours, exactly the duration of this show.
Right.
Yeah.
I might have snuck on to get my tickets during the show, like earlier.
Multitasking.
I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna have to do it in a minute.
I mean, after Lotus pretty much farmed 7 million AP while we recorded the last episode that we recorded, it's all fine.
That's what I was gonna say. Between helping with Promethean's Emp push, or the other time where I was literally just like, I can't just not be getting double AP right now. So I sat there fixing wall segments for a 4-hour show. And I was just using my AP to buy more wall segments to earn more AP. It was just this weird cycle, but it was the only thing I could do that wouldn't require my attention. So I was like, well, I can press up on the D-pad and repair the wall, I don't know, 1,000 times during the show.
I mean,
net me a profit.
I'll be honest, I considered playing Valheim while recording, but I didn't want to edit out the keyboard and mouse sound, so I skipped that.
Yeah, see, I went real low quality, whereas like, what is the bare minimum I can do to maximize this event while doing this?
Yeah, I basically was like, crap, I need to get my tickets for the day, and if I wait until after Tales, then it's going to be after Daily Reset. So I was like, well, Lotus played during the show a couple weeks ago, so I'm just
Lotus did it, so I can do it.
Exactly. So
I set a bad example for everyone.
I mean, the nice thing is I don't really like anything from this event. Like, that pet is nice, but the costume, And I don't care about that Dagon skin either, so I'm gonna wait until there's a mount from the event. So when you don't care about it, it's so much nicer that you don't have to farm, because it's like, well, I'm not going to spend it on anything, so...
Yeah, I'm also notoriously bad about ever remembering to spend the tickets if I remember to get them.
Same.
So like, I've wasted probably an Indrix worth of tickets for these events.
Oh, I definitely missed. Yeah. I gave up on the Indrix because of that specifically. I got the first 2, I think, and then I was getting the third one, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, I didn't gain any for the past like 4 days. I forgot to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's always my thing. Rough.
I don't remember to cash them out, but a lot of times it's like, if there's anything I want to get, like a pet or whatever, those group repair kits, though. When you're running trials, everyone loves you. If you screw up, everybody forgives you because they don't have to pay to fix their armor. Like, I'm sorry I screwed up. All your armor is repaired. See? Like,
yeah, so I guess that's a good item. Yeah, that makes sense. I just there has been events that I went with 0 tickets, basically. Like, unless it's an activity that I already do, like the PvP one or the Undaunted one. I just went by with 0 tickets throughout the entire event. And I won't be surprised if this happens to be the same, because I absolutely despise the canteens of Vivek City. I will not...
Oh, really?
It could give me 100 tickets. I don't want to go in there and get that NPC. Even if I know where it is, I hate those canteens. I'm traumatized from when the Vardenfell first launched. And I was trying to figure out where the hell all the NPCs are in that stupid canteen. I was like... trying to find the bag NPC, trying to find the daily NPC, trying to find a quest NPC in those stupid canteens. I hate that place. Good thing Shigura threw a rock at it. He probably got pissed off as well. Like, screw your architecture, and just slingshot him.
They'll also sync really well.
I get so lost in there. So lost.
Everybody does. No one. Yeah. If anybody says they don't get lost in there, they're lying to you.
And Like the difficult thing for me is I pick up my quest, I do my quest, and then instead of going to the quest
to turn it
spot,
in, yeah.
I go back to the quest giver.
I
I'm
do
like,
that
why
too.
is this not a thing? Like I do it every single time, and it drives me nuts every single time.
Also, I just so was Vivexity built before or after Sheogorath threw a rock?
During.
After?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was at
During.
the same time.
Yeah, during.
It was
Okay.
being built, and they threw the rock, Bardau, and then it was suspended, and then they kept building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like in ESO's timeline right now, they're still building Vivek.
Right,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
still 2 canteens being
Well,
worked
I guess
on,
it makes
I
sense
believe.
that it was before. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
see,
like
I just want to confirm that Sheogorath could actually solve the architecture and went like, screw this. This is not gonna happen on my watch. And then
I'll show you.
and then it popped up a question in my head. Are Daedra bound by time the way mortals are?
I would assume not.
Like, is time
Wouldn't they
linear
be,
for
though?
them the
Because
way...
they still would be. They're not dragons. They're not Akatosh. They would still be.
But
They would still be bound to linear time, except for in like a dragon break.
I mean, I
Right.
guess in their, but then if they can control their own
Because they can't control
realms-
time.
right?
Oh,
but if
in
they,
their own realms, that might be
I-
different.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh yeah,
In
on
the
point-
Mundus, like
in the Mundus, definitely, I would say. But I would
Mhm.
figure in their own realms, they probably don't have to obey that. But yeah, on our plane, I would
the reason
assume.
the question popped up in my mind is because if I was gonna say if Sheogorath threw the rock before Vivek City was ever built, and my argument was gonna be flawed, I was gonna say, well, he's not bound by time, so he could have seen into the future and then threw the rock. And then I just thought, well, is he bound by time? And that's
they might be able to like stop time or like do like little jumps, but they wouldn't be able to like time travel essentially.
right.
Because
I mean, I guess-
they're bound to this. They would be bound to the same way without a dragon. Like a dragon would be the only thing that could.
I see. Yeah.
Like
makes
dragon
sense.
break would. I think.
See, this is why I love Elder Scrolls. You can just pause an entire blank moment on
Yeah.
lore versed, like well versed in lore people.
Look,
Trying to remember. I'm looking up too because I'm going to look it up because I'm pretty sure they would all be bound. But I remember something about Hermaeus Mora not because Hermaeus Mora had a
okay,
like
We're
deal
dear
with
Hermaeus
Akatosh or
Mora.
something.
I was about to
Oh.
bring up the fact that he Mora's made. Well, granted, I also don't entirely know that this was not one of Kirkbride's like forum ramblings and not officially.
That's what I'm
written.
trying to remember too. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was. So Hermaeus Mora is the creation of Hermaeus Mora is the scraps of a previous Kalpa's knowledge put together. So he's basically from a previous. For anybody who doesn't know what a Kalpa is, it's like a time, a creation of time
Yeah.
to which the world has reset. And he's the scraps of knowledge from that previous existence. Look up Written in
Okay.
Uncertainty for
Yeah, this
another
is
great podcast.
Aramithius.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
great.
actually has. Yeah, Aramithius from Written in Uncertainty. It's not a joke. The podcast that he does actually has an episode on Kalpas, which is if you want to get real deep in, he goes deep dive. Not so much just on this is a surface level. Oh, is it this or this? He goes into like the philosophy on how you could interpret stuff like that. And some of them are
Aramithius
really
is
fascinating.
like a college professor in Elder Scrolls lore type thing.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
among all of our podcasts, I think his is the
Easily
crazy
the-
level in depth.
Yeah.
lore
That's
stuff.
the deep lore.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the
he-
scholar basically.
Yes, he studies it and presents it in a way of like actual like learning as opposed to like even with Lorecast with me and robots, it's supposed to be surface level, like here are some stories, here backgrounds on characters, regions, etc. The idea isn't like philosophical discussion on the creation of things and stuff. It's like that's if you want that, definitely check out Written in Uncertainty. It can be fascinating.
I've also seen Aramithius pop up around the Test Lore subreddit as well.
Yep.
Yeah, he hangs out there a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if the Hermaeus Mora, I'm trying to remember. I don't think it's an in-game source. So take it with a grain of salt.
Right. I'm pretty sure it was Kirkbride.
One of
forum
Kirkbride's.
ramblings.
Yeah. One of his forum posts kind of thing.
I like that one though. So
I like a lot of them. I think a lot of them are great.
Yeah. So I choose to select that one to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that comes from the one where he talks about all the Daedra, doesn't it? Like he just says,
I
like,
think
this
so.
is where this one comes from. This one's where this one comes from.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think as far as we know, Daedra would still be bound by time.
Right. That makes sense.
Ta-da.
I just want to make Sheargora throw a rocket with City for the canteens. That's And
That's
it still
acceptable.
supports my theory, so it works for me.
Yep, rock throwing.
Which ones are built? It's the Foreign Quarter and
I don't
the
remember the other one.
Alms.
Oh, they have names as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just call it the
As if it wasn't
Southwest
confusing
East
enough.
North. Why you call it Saint Alms?
Because there's ones in the middle.
Well, that's the middle one then. just called middle.
There's two in the middle. Oh,
Okay,
you're going to be
middle-
confused.
Center West and Center East.
Center-ish.
Slightly to the right center, slightly to the left center. Or just don't build it at all. Just build one big box. Why does it have to be this strange building?
I know what
It's the weirdest
fact-
way to build it.
I know the fact that they're separated like that is very unique. Is the word we'll use.
What do you expect from a levitating lamp?
That's true. He is a glow stick.
That's what happens when you get a lamp and put a levitation spell on it and put it in a temple. You get Vivek. It also has
he's a
different
pretty lamp.
shadings. It's Philips
true.
Hue. It can change shades. Provides
Pylawn
RGB
has
lighting.
Pylawn has a fun experience with Philips Hue.
Oh, have I told you guys about my amazing Philips Hue ESO bug?
No.
It's the best
No.
bug ever. I don't have it enabled right now. So I have a Razer keyboard,
Yeah.
which is got a tie-in for ESO. So when I play ESO, it'll change my keyboard to the color of whatever alliance I'm playing as at the moment. So if I log in
It's always
on
red.
an EP character, it turns red. Except for when my ult is ready, the R will change color. When when my
Oh, that's neat.
it's really cool. It's not that useful because you're not looking at your
Yeah, but
Right.
it's
keyboard
cool.
really that often, but it's nice. And sometimes I'll catch it out of my periphery and be like, oh, or like your Q, when your Q is available used again, whatever it's slotted as like a potion, that it'll flash. When they get low health, when I get to really low health, it'll flash red and stuff like that. And there's a lot of really cool things, or it'll go really like rainbow seizure mode if there's like a pop up for like a dungeon's ready, which that one's actually really useful.
Okay,
Yeah,
that one I
yeah.
can see being
Yeah.
Because
very
it's just like, I'm like, oh, why did my, oh, it popped. Okay. And then like F lights up and stuff like that too. So that's really, really cool. However, they haven't done any work or updated anything on this plugin since it came out. And it came out when Morrowind was launched, like the
Oh,
Morrowind
God.
chapter.
Oh boy.
No work has been done. But Razer has updated the synapse like 10 times since then, like a ton of times. And one of the things they added was they added Philips Hue as something you can also control through this. So I can use my keyboard and have the Philips Hue lights in my office. Like I can have them change color and stuff like that while I'm doing stuff, and have them change based on things that are happening. Except if you're playing ESO, it just turns off the lights because they haven't updated it to include like the API for that. And I didn't know this. So I get the new keyboard, I'm setting it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I had a Razer keyboard before, so I set it up and I was playing, and then all of a sudden I'm like playing, and then all of a sudden my lights turn off in my room and I think I lost power. And like I know that like because I have a battery backup on my desktop and on my internet and stuff like that, so I know that even if the power turns off, usually it's my lights that go. Because I'm like, oh. So I was like, oh, okay, crap. So I didn't think about it. Then like I go to play ESO again, and my lights turn off, and it was just all of a sudden I'm just like, ooh, it's dark, and I'm like, what is happening? Like I don't know what's going on, and I get like confused. And it like after like 5 or 6 times, I realized I'm like it like kind of clicked for me that it was doing it as I was logged into ESO. And I was like, why on earth are my lights turning off every time I play ESO? So I eventually did like, and then it clicked for me that I was like, oh wait, the integration. And then I clicked, I'm like, oh yeah, I did tie hue lights into the integration in there. And I like didn't even put it, like it took so long to put it all together that I like tied in the hue integration. The hue integration might be tied to ESO as well, and it might be broken. So like I put in a bug request for it, a report for it, which I'm like, I know. And this is during Markarth launch.
Oh God.
So I'm like, I know that this is
everything
like
is already
lowest
broken.
possible, like lowest priority in the world. But every time I play ESO, my lights turn off, and I think this is why. And the comments on this, on like that post, were hilarious. People being like just be like, this is the funniest bug report I've ever heard, or like, someone please just fix this poor guy's lights so that he can play ESO.
Friggin' great, because all I'm picturing is like with all of the disaster with Markarth, it's just you starting up, and it's like, so anytime I try to light attack weave, all the shelves in the back of my office fall off. Like,
yeah, in real life.
In real life,
like not my house, my real home is turning off because of ESO. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. Like, and it didn't bug me that much. Like, I just turned off the integration so that it doesn't do it anymore. But I was just like, what? It took me a solid week to figure out what was happening.
I don't know if I ever would have like put 2 and 2 together on that, because it
took a while.
Yeah, that connection is like that must have taken. Yeah, I could see that, because that's a stretch to piece that one together.
Yeah, it just happened to me. I remembered that I had gone in and turned on the Philips Hue integration in the Razer software, and I was like, because I was trying to think, I'm like, what else could be turning off? And I thought that, like, at first I thought there was like some weird like communication thing that I was doing, or like some app was like having a problem, or a timer. And I'm like, maybe I just keep launching ESO at the same time. And it's turning it off. Like it took a while. It took a solid week, and then I figured out what was happening. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the funniest thing.
Well, do you have anything else for us?
No,
no,
that's everything. I don't know. Probably.
Well, I mean,
but I can't think of it.
I can throw a lot of questions at you, but I can see that Pixie is slowly drifting into the land
I'm
of
so tired.
Hermina.
Yeah.
So, Pixie, your tales.
So I admittedly didn't play a ton over the last couple of weeks because A, Valheim, and B, just real life stuff got in the way. But that being said, last week we did Prague. So last show I cleared Vet Frostvault hard mode, but I cleared it with Kiz and a couple of his friends. I did not clear it with the Soul Gem Society. So Lego and Bard still needed their Frostvault hard mode clear. So me and Kiz were like, we'll get that tonight because I wasn't streaming, and we'll just go ahead and run that and get that cleared up for you guys, because like now we've got it. And we got that in like just a couple of polls. Like, it was way easier this time now that like we all knew what we were doing. And so then we were like, okay, that was really, really fast. What are we going to do with the rest of the night? Like, we weren't ready to really like go to bed yet, because it had been less than an hour. So we're like, okay, another one that you guys don't have that Kiz and I do have that we can go ahead and get you guys caught up on is Lair of Marsalok hard mode. And I was like, this might be a mistake because of how many times I've died in that dungeon. It's like, okay, I can just kind of resign myself to the fact that I'm probably not going to get this, but at least I know how to do it now. And so we Everything's fine. We get to the last boss. I then get the bright idea. I don't know if you guys remember the last time we talked about Lair of Marsalok, how I kept accidentally purging, because if I cast my big necro heal on a corpse, it's going to do an automatic purge by itself. It's not it's not something I'm doing intentionally. It's just something that's happening as a result of my favorite heal to spam on people. So I just took that heal completely off my bar, substituted with a bunch of other ones that I thought were gonna work. And I had a really rough day that day, so I just guess I channeled all of my rage at the game, and we cleared it in like 2 pulls. So we got 2 difficult hard modes done in under 2 hours. And then we just kind of sat around and just like chatted for a while because we didn't know what to do with our lives at that point. We were just like, what is this?
It's amazing that once you prove you can do it by clearing it the first time, how going back in the second time, it's just not the same. It's
Honestly,
like, oh my god, this was so brutal.
Like
It's
that
like-
would work for me for every dungeon. But for Lair of Marsalok, I feel like however many times I do it, I would still wipe at least like 10 times, because just one simple mistake of pressing X at the wrong time to purge, and you just wipe out your entire crew. And we all know I'm not that focused while I'm playing the game, and I do it a lot.
So my approach to it is, once I learned the light attack pattern, I just never purged the entire fight ever.
That's also, I guess, makes sense.
There's just no purging. It's just, you eventually just got it, like, as long as you can dodge roll most of his little burp attacks, you won't get too much purge built up, or too much stuff, whatever fumes or whatever it is you need to soak up. So it's like, whatever. It's like, it's not too bad. And that was just it. Once I resigned myself to just simply never purging, I was like, oh, this is actually a lot more straightforward at that point.
Don't you take insane amount of dot though if you never purge?
So each one of those little like burp things that gives you like a tick, you can theoretically dodge all of those and not get any of them.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's not too bad. And you can screw up a couple here and there, and it's not too bad. It's when you start like face tanking and it's like, I'm holding 8 of these. It's like you're in hell at that point.
I mean, my main issue was that whenever I tried to use a different, like I tried to use blessed shards, for example, to get stamina back, synergy just changes to purge at the last second. I press X and just everyone dies.
That's something I have without going too far from Pixie's Tales. You're supposed to always prioritize in Cloud Rest the portal first. No, absolutely not. I use every orb, shard, liquid lightning, you name it. I'm going to activate every synergy before I can get through that stupid ass portal, and it drives me nuts sometimes. I mean, it works sometimes, but I know it's supposed to prioritize the portal. Hell no, it does not always prioritize that portal.
I mean, on PC, I think there is an add-on that you can set the priority yourself and even ignore some of the synergies, just like blacklist some synergies, whitelist whatever you want to be on top. But yeah, that's PC where you don't play Lotus.
See.
That's on you. Come to PC.
I see. Which button does it have? Which one's the win button? Do I just type W enough?
No, you need the win add-on first, and then you can keybind the win button to whatever you want. You only get that
when you install add-ons, Lotus.
Okay, the most cheater add-on that I use is FCO Lockpicker. And it's only because whenever I'm streaming, I cannot talk and pick a lock at the same time. But
I am pro at talking and picking a lock. I cannot
do it.
Like someone actually on stream on Tuesday was like calling it out because I was having a conversation and picking locks, and someone's like, "Wait, did you just talk and pick a lock?" And I was like, "Yes." That's like my funny. I'm not good. I won't claim I'm a great player at anything in ESO. Like, I'm not the best DPS. I'm not the best at everything, but I can talk and pick a lock.
Well, okay, so it became an issue for me so there was a while back, and this is actually probably over a year ago at this point. Avi was playing, and we had just gotten her first tune to 50. And I was like, all right, let's go do a vet dungeon. And we brought her into White Gold Tower. We had to do the lockpick mechanic. I don't have the skill to force the lock or whatever. So I'm burning to death in these cages because I'm insisting on talking to chat. And also I get very nervous whenever I'm on fire trying to pick a lock, which I feel would be a natural reaction to being on fire trying to pick a lock, to be fair. I just couldn't do it. I was too freaked out and trying to do too many things at once. Could not pick the lock. So chat's like, just get FCO lockpicker and call it a night. And so now I just watch for green and then let go. It's not that I don't know how to pick locks. I just can't multitask and pick locks.
Yeah, the multitasking is the problem. That's pretty
I'm
insane.
a pro lockpicker because the ESO lockpicking is the same as Oblivion, which I lockpicked through for
That
God
is
knows
not
how
even
many
close
hours.
to true.
No, I
What do you
thought...
mean?
So much harder.
which
So
ones?
I thought...
I
that I'm with
one-shot
Pylawn on
Oblivion
this.
master lockpicks, and I'm pretty sure I would one-shot them even now after not playing for several years.
Yeah,
No, they're
very
way
similar.
harder. They're
They
way harder in
really-
Oblivion than ESO.
Yeah,
They look
Oblivions are more
similar.
challenging because they.
Well, that's why I can do ESO easily then,
Yeah.
because I used to one-shot
ESO is an
Oblivion.
easier version of
Yeah.
Oblivions.
Yes.
Yeah, Oblivions I still can't figure out. I need FCO lockpicker in that game.
It's not something to
Oh.
figure out. It's a feeling. You just
have to flick that little flick.
I can't do it.
it's just
I
touching.
burned
thought
through like
better.
150 lockpicks in like
It's
10 minutes in
I was better
Oblivion.
at it on console, but on PC.
Same. I
can't
did
do
it on console, I remember.
I'm pretty sure because it's actually
Probably.
easier on.
Yeah, they'd have
console.
to be.
It like
No.
I
My
yeah, I
favorite
don't
lock
suggest
picking
picking
system.
locks. You just get your ledger
now I
domain
want to log
skill
into
up.
Oblivion and just go pick locks just to see
Yeah, well,
how it was
just do
different
it.
than ESO.
Yeah, just force locks. Once you picked them originally, just break
no,
them. Just break all the locks.
look, to
Oh,
force them,
I don't force any
properly.
locks.
you need skill points in the thing,
Yeah.
and I don't have skill points.
You know what they should bring back then? Arena style bashing through everything. The door's locked. That chest has nothing to fear from me. Wham! Sledgehammer. It's open.
I really like Skyrim's lockpicking system. I have a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah.
I get enjoyment out of Skyrim's. I don't get enjoyment out of Oblivion's lockpicking.
I think
system,
Skyrim's
mainly
was a
because I
lot
just
more
can't figure
difficult
it out.
than Oblivion and ESO. That
So-
that one caused like I could do a lot of the Oblivion with just one lockpick. In Skyrim, I was burning through lockpicks like crazy because it was just like click click. It's
Morrowind is
another-
just like throw lockpicks at it until it opens.
You
Yeah.
literally
So-
you just throw lockpicks until the game has rolled you a correct door.
Yeah.
Skyrim is another one that's easier on console because the
You
even
rotate, yeah.
ESO for me is easier on console because you get the controller vibration. It's not even the
Oh.
rotation; it is the vibration that gives me a cue as to like where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it's
That-
got like a tension to it.
Yeah, and that's why I don't feel too bad about doing FCO lockpicker was because like I was so frustrated moving from console to PC with lockpicking specifically that it's like I need some help. But like now
that's
it's
a
just
quality
multitasking
of
thing.
life add-on anyway. Like I really want to do all these dungeons again without Code's combat reflexes. Sometime after I clear everything, which is only Stone Garden left until just next week, I guess. Then there's 2 more.
Blackrock Prison.
Yeah, Black Rose Prison is gonna be our final thing. That's what we settled on. We are gonna do Black Rose Prison Veteran, and then depending on how that goes, hard mode once we got every dungeon in the game, which is gonna be quite soon, actually. I mean, depending on how fast we clear Stone Garden, that is. But yeah,
To be fair, it's just Black Rose Prison. It's just Arena 4. Arena 2 is annoying. Arena 4 is the worst.
when I ran it with Offie and the Drunkenborns, we couldn't get through Arena 2. But
Arena
back
2 's
then,
annoying.
I wasn't full CP. I was like CP
Right.
400-500 maybe. I didn't have the gear that I have right now.
Mhm.
So I guess it'll go better now. Also, we are a lot more practiced as the Untaunted than we were as the Drunkenborns.
You'll definitely you'll be fine with some practice. It's just Arena 2 is challenging. Arena 4 is just like, oh, did you like Arena 1, 2, and 3? Because now just do them all at the same time. It's like, what did that's just the worst. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I guess we'll see. What else, Pixie?
Just the event stuff, really. That's the only stuff I really had the time to do this last couple weeks. But that one day was like super satisfying because like a lot of times those hard modes take me forever to get through. And doing 2 in under 2 hours in one night was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like Frostvault and Layer, like 2 supposedly nightmarish hard modes back to back under 2 hours. That's that is impressive.
Yeah, those
apparently
are
I just have to get really mad at the world and then go play ESO, and then I'm suddenly a much better player. So I just have to channel anger. That's it.
Let the hate flow through you.
Fear me, game. I can take on anything.
Message
So I just need
Mike
one
Finnegan.
of you.
Yeah.
Here's what we need to do. Before the Stone Garden thing, before my group tackles Stone Garden, I need one of you guys to say something very, very mean to me that just makes me very, very angry. And then I'll beat Ark.
What if we just chew on some
is the worst
sunflower
alliance.
seeds?
Altmers suck, and
Wait,
anyone who plays Altmers and Altmer Dominion are evil. Something along those lines.
So if
I'm
you
scared
two,
of what Lotus is about to say.
here's the thing, is if you two kind of have your little competition going for who's doing what or whatever, what if Ark says nice things about the Dominion?
I see.
Because
here's the thing.
then she won't be mad. She'll be relaxed.
I actually
That's
I actually came up with a strategy to just put Pixie out of competition. I just stopped competing, and she immediately stops clearing hard mode dungeons from the way things look. Because so all I need to take out Pixie out of competition is stop competing. It's a it's
I
She's
mean, you're
very
not
good
wrong.
at competition. So you're like, you know what? I retire. and then stealth do them without telling us until I cleared all these. What were you doing?
I was doing housing. I don't know. I've always been a very competitive person. So the
look at
there's
Castle Torn. You guys tried that for like weeks, just casually throwing yourself at it. And as soon as we said, okay, we are competing now, next time they ran, they just cleared it. They did it all. All you had to do was the drive to beat me, I guess.
Yes.
That actually reminds me, since because I know you guys excluded me from the competition.
Yeah, you don't count.
I know.
You are too OP. You're not a part of this.
But since I actually had run Stone Garden recently, and like a couple shows back, I was like, oh yeah, I need to actually like go through and do that hard mode. What do you guys do for time? Like, because I know that was the way to do it, is you clock time. Do you do time on the whole dungeon, or is it just while you're in the hard mode? Like, do you start the time like when you're in hard mode?
I don't think we are that precise, honestly.
Because I was going to say, it took us an hour and 42 minutes
approximate
for our
times.
first clear from beginning to end.
Besides, both of us just go through the actual dungeon very easily up until we start facing the hard mode.
That's why I was curious. Like, do you
we are not going to time to the minute. Like, hey, I did it on 37 minutes. You did it on 35 minutes. That's a time.
I mean,
it's the ballpark. Well, I was curious.
Yeah, ballpark. Yeah.
Oh, with Frostvault, no matter which way you spun it, Arc 1.
I just did it under 2 hours.
Castle Thorn was just whoever got it first.
Right.
And so I lucked out there because I had already been in there.
Yeah.
On this one, I mean, I guess I can just like glance at the clock whenever we start the hard mode and like not count the rest of the dungeon, because I've done the first 2 hard modes like several times.
They're not. Neither of them are that.
Yeah,
I love the second one.
Yeah, they're not bad. It's the last one that just is hell.
Yeah.
There's fire everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything hurts.
We both did the first 2 hard modes. We both just disheartened by the actual hard mode.
Yeah, the last one just makes me want to cry.
Well, the
And-
jump is so extreme. It's like, oh, okay, this is you
Yeah, I
just gotta
never got
really
to
get
the
on
jump.
that bash. Oh, there's a lot more AoEs. Oh, everything's on fire and you're dying and you have
Yeah.
no bones. It's like, oh well.
I
that's
tried
not
that
much
with like
worse.
60k health. With full, like up, I was at like 100k health with my damage shields at some point, I think. I still melted, so I was like, nah.
Yeah,
This is not nice. This is not cool. I don't
the
like
difficult
this.
thing is the fact that so if I run guard on Lego, I can keep me and Lego alive. Like
Yeah, we
through
didn't
that
do
fire, I
guard.
can do it.
That's not something we tried. Maybe we
I
should.
did
we
not.
like guard.
I don't use guard.
I mean, if I'm taking that much damage,
did.
there is no way Luna should be able to survive 30% of it with just like 17k health. That doesn't make any sense.
I stood like just outside the
hits me.
fire and was guarding Lego and just spamming my Necro AoE just immediately. Just
if I'm
dump, dump,
taking
dump.
like 60k damage per tick because I suck at avoiding AoEs, so it all builds up, 30% of that 60k hit is just gonna nuke anyone else instantly before they can
Well,
heal.
I don't know. It seemed easier whenever I did that.
Lego was
that
probably
being
a lot
said,
better at avoiding AoEs, that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah, because
But I was still running guard on him. And then the issue would happen whenever I would stop spamming heals on me and Lego because one of the DPS needed a heal. So unless the DPS just like fend for themselves, I'm screwed with that tactic because I'm taking so much damage.
Yeah.
So the second I stop healing myself, I'm dead. So like even if I have like some heal over times on the ground or something, it's still just I'm just dead unless I'm doing the heal over time with my spammables and all that, just dumping heals on Lego and I. That being said, the last time I tried that hard mode was before I got my gold staff. So
That'll
like,
make
that
a
just-
difference.
yeah, it's made a difference in everything I've done since then.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of a difference it was actually going to make until I got it. I was like, wow, Moongrave Fane suddenly is not hard.
It's all about those gold weapons. Weapons first,
I
then
still-
armor, and
So
Then jewelry.
outside of PvP, I never used a gold gear at all so far. I always had purple because all my money goes into housing. I
oh
don't,
wow.
I don't buy gold materials. I buy furnishing.
So see, this is just it. What you didn't or what I didn't realize is you were both doing on ultra hard modes because
Yes.
I actually don't even like not having gold jewelry, and it doesn't even matter. I just like to post gold jewelry. Just like, look at all this gold crap I have.
But here's
It
the
barely
thing.
even makes a difference.
I rotate sets per fight. If I try to gold everything out, I will go bankrupt.
So
Actually, tempering
man.
alloy has been very cheap lately. I should
this is I know you don't like to do your writs, but do your
No,
writs.
no, we are not going there. We are not going there. No.
I have like 60
No, no,
different
no, no, no.
gold rings.
What? Oh,
Do
man.
your writs.
No. I'll do everything on purple gear. Okay, it's fine.
Ugh. Well, then, see, this is why I'm not included. That's why jewelry is
It
one
can't
thing.
make that much difference.
No, actually, it's
no, it
literally
makes a-
irrelevant.
It makes a huge difference.
You're a liar. It does like 7. I
Oh,
think
no, we're
it's
not talking about the-
literally 7 regen.
We're not
Like-
talking about the jewelry. We're talking about the weapons. The
Oh,
weapons
then
make
that-
a huge difference.
No, I meant
weapons-
full set, like full gold.
Oh yeah, weapons are
Weapons
most
alone.
critical. Yeah, weapons are most critical. Gear is
What
good.
does me having a gold sword versus purple sword help change in for me?
It amps your crusher up a bunch. I assume
So
you
it's
use a
everybody's
crusher.
damage
Kitsu
will
and
go up.
Jen is already pulling stupid amount of DPS. The problem is I don't stay alive in Stormgarden. Not that the boss is not melting. I need something to help me stay alive, not anything else.
So for me, my gear became an issue, or it was glaringly obvious once we got into Moongrave Fane, and I had to do that heal check. And I really, really struggled the first couple of tries. And then Kiz had told me go ahead and like reconstruct my master's resto and reconstruct it as gold this time. And whenever I did that, immediately I can almost like right away get them out of that debuff. And it was just it was easy after that,
So-
as far as like my healing went. It
Kiss
was crazy.
says in chat, my gold cost for my macro for all the gear I use is 11 million, if that helps. I have
That's on
3 million banked after selling my entire backlog of items, motifs, and everything like that. So,
and those spell pots, baby.
I have like 1 million total.
yeah, so this is gonna be rough. Well, we'll see. I'll just clear everything on purple. It's fine.
I was gonna say, to be fair, I didn't realize you used like all purple gear. Now
Maybe we can
I'm
count
impressed.
this for using Code's combat reflexes and negate each other. So
There you go. Because that's why I was like, purple.
I
gear.
can compete with Lotus now. Let's go.
Dude, I am not lying whenever I say up until pretty recently I had blue jewelry.
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
Okay, that's
Like, I
a
didn't
bit-
even have purple stuff
Wow.
until like that was like several months ago now. But like
yeah, but still,
I'm making
You
things
also had
way
wrong
harder
trade
than
as
you
well,
need to
I
be.
think, at some point. Just random
Oh yeah,
traits.
everything
yeah.
was wrong trait. It was like all just bullshit, just whatever I picked it up with. I think it was like sturdy, reinforced. There
Oh,
might have been a
God.
training thrown in there on one of them. And I guess I just picked it up and never looked at it again. I don't know why. I just didn't. I guess I had it for so long that I just assumed at some point I'd check the traits, but never did. And so
I
it
feel
was just
that.
bad.
I definitely feel that though. Like I've done that. When we
Okay, that makes me feel better.
just recently. That's why. That's actually why I mentioned the Lord Warden thing. I had like a wrong pair of like shoulders, and I was like, oh, my original theory was this will be cheaper to just buy a new pair than to retrait this. Because I had been using the wrong ones. So I was like, oh, that's stupid. Why have I been doing this? Because it was like whatever it was, tumbling or something. And I was just like, well, this is... Yeah, thank you. I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's stupid. And then, 107 keys later, I was like, oh, nope, that wasn't stupid. I wish I just got those transmute crystals.
My Destro staff is still wrong. I need the Hollow Fang Lightning staff, but I have the Hollow Fang Inferno staff. That's another problem. I like the lightning staffs better, but it's just whatever at this point because I don't like farming things. So I'm just like, screw it. I'll just use the wrong stuff. I don't even care. You guys get your Hollow Fang proc every now and then. I don't have to run this anymore. Good to go.
Well, I guess I
And-
know what to do for Stone Garden. Spend a lot of money on Tempering Gallery. Like a lot.
I mean, it makes things so much. It's like shockingly easier. And now I understand why it's like, why are you struggling in this? It shouldn't be hard. Well, I'm struggling in this means I found a new way to make it hard.
Here's where Pylawn comes in and he's like, oh, my 76k parse, that was in white gear.
No, it's mostly gold. I don't have any gold jewelry. Still, I only have purple and some blue in some places in jewelry.
That's it. That one is the most irrelevant of all of them. Because
that's why I haven't bothered. I'm like, I'm not spending 10 million gold to get up because the prices of like the mats for jewelry are just stupid high. Like it's not worth it.
If I remember correctly, somebody can like Kiz might know the exact number to this, but I'm pretty sure purple, like if I had 3 purple pieces with say like the stamina regen trait on them for my jewelry, and then I made them all gold, I'm pretty sure it's only like 30 total extra stamina regen for all 3. Like I think each piece is either 7 or 10 a piece. It is so negligible. It's like irrelevant.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Tempering Alloy is like the cheapest out of the... Well, no, not woodworking is cheapest, but you get the idea. So I guess I can spare like $1 million, $1.5 million to get the most commonly used gear that I use to gold at least. Because I do switch, like I would have to gold out over 40 items to make all my combinations go gold, and that's gonna be rough. But I can, I guess, make the most common ones I use gold out. Anything else, Pixie?
Nope.
All right. Well, for me, I cleared Frostvault hard mode under 2 hours. All of us blind, basically. So that was fun. And then we cleared Castle Thorn hard mode finally on our 3rd run. So officially, it took us the longest out of all the hard modes we cleared. Lair of Marcellus was 2 runs. Moongrave Fane was 2 runs. I think everything else was like on the first night of trying it. But Castle Thorn took us 3 runs. So unless we clear Stone Garden, we can't clear Stone Garden in more tries. Castle Thorn officially is our bane. But we'll see how Stone Garden goes, because I'm really concerned about it. Well, maybe not. Maybe golding out my gear will immediately make everything a lot easier. We will see. And that's pretty much it. I've been playing Valheim, so yeah. I didn't do anything else in here. So I only play on Mondays now when we run our hard mode dungeons. So yeah. And that brings us to the end of the show. We could read the meet the character for Evely Sharp Arrow, but it is 3 a.m. for you guys now?
It's 2 a.m.
2, yeah. So let's skip that, because with our ability to jump into, derail into random topics, just reading through that might open doors that we don't want to get into right now and discuss for another hour and a half. So
I will fall asleep.
Yeah.
Again.
So, Pylawn, any final thoughts? And where can people find you, everything that you do, UESP, if somehow they don't know what it is?
Yeah, if you don't know what UESP is and you want to learn more about anything related to the Elder Scrolls, UESP.net is the best place to find it. You can find me over there. You can find me on the Discord. You can find me on basically any social media server at Pylawn, Pylawn. I sign up for everything, even if I don't use the service, just so I can maintain my name in there. I have a TikTok account, just so that I have my name in there.
Perfect.
I don't want any impersonators out there. But yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me on the show again. Maybe next year we'll do it again, or before.
Yeah.
Ark, I need to have you on the show too, because have you guested on other podcasts?
I think I was on Elder Scrolls Lorecast. Yeah,
Yep,
I was on Elder Scrolls Lorecast.
Do you know what the best feeling in the world is?
Yeah.
The fact that I don't have to edit the show now.
Oh yeah, that is very true. That is very true.
The best feeling in the world is going on someone else's podcast and me being like, I'm going to bed after this. I'm not going to be up for 12 hours.
Oh, that is true. Also, I still remember Tom cornering me with all the Guar questions for that trivia. So
That was the best trivia ever.
he said he was going to do trivia for me, and all the questions were just Guar related.
They were just all Guar related. And they were deep Guar lore, too.
Yeah, he was like, what is the Guar that is gray and dispatterned in Balfoyan named? I was like, what? How am I supposed to know that? I hate these creatures. But yeah. This is true, though. UESP, folks. Everything Elder Scrolls related, from lore to bits and pieces of information, quotes, everything is there. They are the guardians of all things Elder Scrolls. So if you somehow don't know them, and if you need anything Elder Scrolls related, go check it out. Also check out the UESP podcast as well, which Pylawn hosts. All right, Lotus, same thing. I forgot the words.
I'm LotusOfDoom on Twitch and Twitter, Discord as well, other things, I guess, but those are the ones I mainly use. Ideally, I'll be streaming at some point throughout the week, either Elder Scrolls Online or more Battlespire, as I try to slog my way through that. I know everybody's enjoying the suffering in Battlespire. And the only other thing that I do every other week on Thursdays is the other podcast that I'm part of that we mentioned with Elder Scrolls Lorecast. So if you want your lore fix in short, condensed 1 hour or less form, that's what we intend to do over there. And we'll be starting up we just got through the companions as Razumdar, Naryu, and Darian. So we'll be switching on to a new topic. We've been doing some character dives over there. So,
All right, and Pixie.
You can find me on Twitch at HyperPixie Gaming and on Twitter at HyperPixie Games.
There you go. And you can find me anywhere that is Arkaniir. That is ARKHANIIR. It's a made-up name, so if you see it, it should be me, although we have figured that the people who made up their names with the exact same method got pretty close names, so there may be some confusion. You can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork, or consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes they matter. Thank you all so very much for joining on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will see you all next week. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
see you later.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magicka fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to Chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.